sponsored by LendSeek.
The deadline is 7 weeks away, and there's no time like the present to complete that income tax return.
Working on this now, even though it's, seems like drudgery, is very useful.
Crescendo Financial Planners founder Elizabeth Pavardi says an early start gives you plenty of time to tackle any problems that may arise along the way.
Then you have a lot of time to make corrections.
I'm Rob Hart.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
If you've been injured, you deserve more than what the insurance company offers you or thinks you're worth. When you get Carter, we'll help you get more. More experience, more attention, and more accessibility. People who hire an attorney get 3 times more on average compared to what big insurance offers them. Their job is to get you to take less. Ours is to get you more. If you've been injured, call the Carter Mario Law Firm at 877-GET-CARTER or head to getcarter.com to get more.
History. What you know about Black history?
Odyssey Harper celebrates Black History Month.
Let me refresh your memory.
By honoring icons of excellence.
Carter G. Woodson launched the national effort to teach Black history in America. It's also been 50 years since this observance was formally recognized at the federal level, honoring Woodson's belief that Black history is central to all American stories. Today, this vision lies on as this history is woven into our schools, our homes, and our culture, helping us all appreciate our shared national identity.
History. What you know about Black history?
Odyssey Harper celebrates Black History Month.
Let me refresh your memory.
By honoring icons of excellence.
Brought to you by Albertus Magnus College, where your dreams become reality.
Low testosterone can be a real problem for many men. It causes poor sleep patterns, decreased energy, brain fog, low sex drive, and it makes it tough to stay in shape. And as we all know, a healthy body is important to our overall health and well-being. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if some or all of those symptoms sound like you, we can likely help you be done with low T. But more than this, we can also help you lose weight, support your metabolism, improve your gains in the gym, and more with our new targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1, and more. Our low T protocols, applied in conjunction with our body composition plans, will help most men see real improvements, true weight loss, higher energy, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and a renewed sex drive as well. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or visit northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the Radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the Radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah! Scallywags, nutmeggers, conversationalists, how y'all doing out there? Let's go. No more snow. Oh, goodness gracious. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. Welcome to the program. Ready to rock and roll. As usual, when we get here. Yesterday, off day, weird day for me. But nonetheless, I'm happy to be back. Don't forget, you can go to reasonotheradio.com now. Go check it out. It's simplified now. No more nonsense. No more nonsense. I was trying to be so complicated and all that stuff, and it's simple. You can watch the show live there. You can comment live by going on YouTube. It's direct to serve right there. YouTube, right there. Of course, you could go to X. You could check out the show afterwards, roughly about 6:30. It is up. Or otherwise, you just go to WTIC.com, which, of course, we'd rather you go. But if you want to and you want to hang out at ReeseOnTheRadio.com, you can. Also, if you got a comment, a story, or a place you want Reese on the Radio to check out with Roseanne, she likes going places, and you know that's my obligation. Send me a location, a diner, a restaurant, a museum. You know how much Roseanne loves history. If there's someplace, a historic site you think that she might be into, she'd love to go and talk about it. So send that to me. Just go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com, go to the comments page. It's right there. And tell me what it is. It comes directly to my inbox, so I see it immediately. In fact, somebody told me a story, sent me a story today, and we're going to address it. It looks like next week, Tuesday, we're going to have a conversation with Josh Elliott. Looks like some young ladies over at Granby were caught on a hot mic talking quite greasy, as they say in the hood, about Josh Elliott. Some homophobic slurs were uttered by two young ladies who did not know that the entire thing was being captured on camera and on audio. We'll talk to him about that. We might even play it this week. It's a little jumbled, and we have the transcript to it. I have it here somewhere, but I have the transcript to it. Let's just say, Roland, if I may, somebody used the term Cokeback Mountain was one of the phrases that was used by one of the young ladies in talking about Josh Elliott. Can you believe that?
You don't like that?
Use the term Cokeback Mountain?
Yeah, you don't like that?
That's a homophobic slur. How's it not?
It's a homophobic slur?
Yes, suggesting that Josh Elliott being, I'm assuming, I have no idea if he's gay, but apparently being homosexual, they're calling him a homosexual drug user.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cokeback Mountain.
Cokeback Mountain. I mean, they weren't talking about the soft drink. I mean, goodness gracious.
Does that mean they chop up the Coke on the back?
I guess so. I guess so.
Oh, that's
yeah, it's kind of foul.
That's different.
Yeah, it is. It's very different. The fact that this language would come from two women, liberal women, blows my mind. But we'll talk about it later on in the program.
Why would that blow your mind?
Well, yeah, I guess it would. I guess you're right. Democrats showing their true colors, as they say. What's the term? We have a song for it. Doing Democrat things. That's what Democrats do. Anyway, yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit.
Damn.
Yeah, it's foul. But I have the transcript here. And like I said, Josh will be here next week. He's working on it, being here next Tuesday to talk about it. We got plenty of stuff to get into. We have a guest today, Marshall Brandon, comedian, homebred, right here in Connecticut. He'll be here on the show at 4 o'clock. We'll talk to him about his travels in the comedy world. I've got a lot of questions for Marshall Brandon. In particular, an age-old question in comedy as it relates to politics. So I want you to stay tuned for that. I hope that he is at least somewhat involved in comedy as it relates to politics as of late. His comedy's a little different. I think he's funny. He's been all over the place, all over the country, if not the globe, and is open for none other than probably the largest name or biggest name in the game, Dave Chappelle. He's an opening act for him. That's a tough road to hoe. If you are being called in to be the lead-in for Dave Chappelle, you got to be good, and I think that speaks for itself. So we'll have him here. We'll talk about his comedy travels, and of course talk to him about headlining our comedy show that's coming in May, I believe. We'll talk about that with him as well. And tomorrow we've got Cara Pavolak D'Amato on the program. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock, we'll talk to her about a host of different things. In fact, there is a public hearing on Friday about House Bill 5010, which is to fight against the end on tax, to end taxes on tips and taxes on overtime. We'll talk about that as well a little bit today and talk about it with Kara tomorrow. What else is there that I could think of? Let me see. I got no other scandals or controversies. Oh, except for the opening monologue. Many of you have seen this video that has gone viral at New York's Washington Square Park. And I saw this story progress at first into something I thought was playful and fun, and it was nice to see. It was people at the park after the snowstorm playfully throwing snowballs at each other. It was very wholesome to see that in New York City. And it sort of warmed my heart. I went, oh, look at that. People playfully throwing snowballs at one another in the park. Strangers probably getting to know one another. But I got duped. And it is me. My naivete took advantage of me. I saw that. I wanted to feel the warm and fuzzies. And then it went south. Then I saw 2 other videos where the crowd turned on police. And they didn't just throw snowballs at police officers. They were throwing chunks of ice that left officers bloodied and bruised. And those police officers had to retreat into their vehicles, who had to come scoop them up and drive them to safety. And I was right back at my usual stance of, yeah, the city's garbage. The city is straight up trash. I couldn't believe it that I was hopeful. Wow, what a peaceful thing, a beautiful thing to see. But to see them behave the way they did to police officers, cops, I got to ask you, how do you stay on the job? I understand there's a retention problem. I understand that there's a recruitment problem. These videos do not help and may very well be the cause. I don't know how you continue to do it. The benefits, I understand, are great. The pension is great. You get to take care of your family for a long time. But I've got to keep asking myself, is it worth it? Now, you know I know cops. 2 of my very good friends are cops. Hell, 3 of my good friends are cops. And you know how much this show stands behind our blue. We got their back. I mean, hardcore got their back. But I watched that video, and I'm sure plenty of cops here saw those videos. Not that I would expect them to call, but you know what? I'm going to do this. Can you do me a favor? If you're in law enforcement and you don't want to be on the air and you listen to this show, because I know you do, Farmington in particular, God bless the Farmington Police Department and all police. Do me a favor, even if you don't want to be on the air. Either go to reasonoradio.com, send me an anonymous note, or even call here at the station, 860-522-WTIC. Just speak to Roland. Just say, hey, I'm a cop from this part of town. We won't put your voice on. Just say to Roland, hey, I'm a cop from here. Yeah, we saw it. We're disgusted. Just do that if you feel like it. I would love to hear from you what your response was. I know that a lot of you can't put your voices on. I don't want to put you in that position. I don't want to put you out there. I want to protect you at all costs because I know how it gets down. Katie Prokop actually got someone called in on her job and said that she was on this show during working hours. I had to actually help her and vouch for her to say that to show that she was on the show after her work hours. So I know there's a lot of hatred out there. Plus, I know the libs are listening. Yes, I know you're listening, libs. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, I want to hear from you if you've seen that video of those police officers being pelted with snowballs and ice. The fact that that's going on in New York City, the largest police force in the country, and with everyone screaming and hollering about how unlawful and unconstitutional stop and frisk was. How police officers get a barrage by their public officials of being called racist, murderous, killers. To the point where people can openly throw snowballs and ice chunks at them in broad daylight with cameras rolling. And not one officer pulled their gun and fired off a round. Couldn't have been me. Come on, you want me to say it, I'll say it. Couldn't have been me. That's why I can't be a cop. Why I couldn't be. You're throwing ice chunks at me in broad daylight? You clearly have no respect for my job, my authority, or care for my well-being. You are trying to physically assault me, put me in harm's way. You are an enemy combatant. And I'm the person who has to have restraint, not you. And I'm supposed to retreat into my van? I can't do anything about it. I can't grab your behind and put you in a hold and drag you and hold you off the central booking. I can do nothing. I have to retreat. I have to make this badge look like I'm serving a bunch of cowards. Well, everybody gets to laugh and snicker, and then what do they do the next time around? When the police come in and they tell people, back up, give us room. What do you think the message is to those individuals when we have to assert our authority as police officers? What do you think happens then? The police officers are told by the mayor, stand down, do nothing. People are going to do what the people are going to do. Do not react. How do you not? I mean, how do you go to work with that, with those conditions? How do you go to work when you know that the mayor has said some very, very awful things about your job and what you do? Has been part of a campaign to defund you, if not eliminate you. That truly what they see. In fact, has anybody heard? I just looked. I don't think the mayor has even responded to what took place yesterday at Washington Square Park. I saw them as they walked past my old apartment at Judson Hall, right there on West 4th. It's actually West 3rd, my bad. Right outside of Washington Square Park. Those officers walking towards 6th Avenue in that video. And they were throwing ice chunks, huge chunks, in the air. They were coming in like catapults. As officers are begging people, stand back, stand back, stand back. Crowds of them, legions of them, approaching the officers as they retreat. I haven't seen anything that, daunting as the days of Freddie Gray in Baltimore, when the police officers with their shields were running in the opposite direction as the people of Baltimore were chasing them with chunks of concrete. And the only thing those police officers had was their shield to keep from being, killed even. They were throwing slabs of concrete at them. It wasn't even bricks. They were picking up slabs off the street and throwing them, hurling them at police officers as they run. The mayor of Baltimore at the time said to give them space to destroy. That's what she said about the rioters. Give them space to destroy. And we don't have to even talk about the end of the film, The Fall of Minneapolis, where police officers had to give up their precinct and run away. There's no need to even mention a pattern here. Yes, we know that these are happening in Democrat cities, of course. They hate police in those places. They want those towns to run amok. Listen, with all due respect, I know you can't. I know you got to feed your families. But I would come up with a contingency plan. There are plenty of other police officers and police stations across the country that need your help. They would love to hire you. And I'm sure the pay is better. And I'm sure the respect is better. Think about it. Think about your families. And say, hey, I'm going there. I say we give them what they want. Anarchy. I say that you defund that police by leaving, resigning, and going somewhere else. Let the lunatics run the asylum. Let's watch the criminal elements patrol the streets. Watch those innocent people beg for you to come back, and you can say to them, no thank you. You did nothing to preserve or even show us any respect. Why would we? Go handle your business. Go down there and get a crackhead to stop your husband from beating you or your son from dealing drugs out of your back door. Don't call us. Call a criminal. I'm just saying. I still don't understand how you do it. But God bless you if you do. We'll take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views when we return. It's Reese on the Radio.
Let's take a step back in time to an era when things were built right, built to last, and a handshake meant something. Yankee Home delivers that same craftsmanship still today. It's midwinter, and you can really feel it every time you walk by your old windows. Cold drafts sneaking in, warm air slipping out, and some mornings you can see your breath inside. It's time to call Yankee Home. Yankee Home's energy-efficient, high-quality windows are designed to keep the warm air in and the cold air out all winter long. And every job is done right the first time, never cattywampus. Take advantage of our winter special. Buy 4 or more windows and get free installation or financing options like 0 down and 0% interest. Call Yankee Home now at 1-800-885-HOME. That's 1-800-885-HOME. Or visit yankeehome.com.
Yankee Home makes it easy as can be with our never cattywampus lifetime guarantee. Yankee Home.
On approved credit, restrictions apply.
Every sandwich has bread, every burger has a bun, but these warm, golden, smooth steam buns, these are special, reserved for the very best. The Filet-O-Fish, and you can have them too.
It's Filet-O-Fish season. Get 2 for $6 or 2 10-piece McNuggets for $6 or mix and match. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Single item at regular price.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait. And don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
And now, a WTIC news update.
2:30, Hartford temperature 30 degrees. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. We'll hear from Bob Cox in the Weather Center coming up a day after the blizzard dumped anywhere from 10 to 30 inches of snow across the state. The cold weather protocol is being extended. It was set to expire at noon. The 211 hotline, though, will be available through noon on Thursday to help needy residents get to warming centers and provide other services they may need. State House Republicans planning a public hearing in the Finance, Revenue, and Bonding Committee on Friday at the LOB on a bill that would end tax on tips and overtime on the state's personal income tax modeled after federal legislation that passed last year. State Office of Inspector General says 53-year-old Everett Walker of Hartford was suffering from what a family member called an acute mental health crisis when Hartford police fatally shot Walker last Thursday when he brought out a knife during a struggle. Savannah Guthrie says her family is offering $1 million reward for information that leads to the recovery of her 84-year-old mother, Nancy. Savannah Guthrie says they're hopeful, but realizes that over 3 weeks later, she may already be gone. NYPD is investigating after several of its officers were pelted with ice and snowballs Monday in Washington Square Park. Video shows the officers walking a pathway when they were hit. A statement says uniformed officers were struck in the face and covered with snow. Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch called the behavior disgraceful and criminal. WTIC News Time is 2:31. Let's check in with Bob Cox. He's got the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
Temperatures out there this afternoon, mostly in the 25 to 30 degree range. Feels a bit colder with a northwest breeze at 10 to 15 miles per hour and some gusts over 20. During tonight, it starts out clear to partly cloudy, and then clouds increase late at night, low 7 to 17 degrees. A period of snow comes through tomorrow morning. It'll probably affect the morning drive, and we have the potential for an inch or two of accumulation, maybe 1 to 3 inches. Clouds will try to mix with some sun in the afternoon with a high near 40 tomorrow. And the chance for a rain or snow shower tomorrow evening. It looks partly cloudy tomorrow night with lows in the 20s. Partly sunny on Thursday, the high around 40 degrees, and mostly sunny Friday, the high again near 40. We're in the 40s Saturday with sunshine. Should stay dry Sunday, the high near 40. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
31, partly sunny in Hartford. The Dow is up 390 points. The NASDAQ ahead to 13. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Odyssey Hartford celebrates Black History Month. This February marks 100 years since historian Carter G. Woodson launched the national effort to teach Black history in America. It's also been 50 years since this observance was formally recognized at the federal level, honoring Woodson's belief that Black history is central to the American story. Today, that vision lives on as this history is woven into our schools, our homes, and our culture, helping us all appreciate our shared national identity. Celebrating Black History Month. For more, download the Odyssey app.
Brought to you with pride by Goodwin University.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text RULE to 215215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text RULE to 215215. That's RULE to 215215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Drive home an unbelievable deal during the President's Day sales event at Northwest Hills dealership in Torrington. Looking for a truck? Own the 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500 RST 4x4 for only $61,720. Save $12,000 off MSRP. Visit NorthwestHillsDealership.com for details and schedule your test drive today. Sullivan Automotive and Northwest Hills Dealership in Torrington, the dealer you can deal with.
Sullivan Automotive, the dealer you can deal with.
Life unfolds in ways you can never quite expect. A divorce,
a death in the family, a personal injury. Each time you are left searching for someone new to trust. But what if you had a full-service law firm that knows you and a firm that can represent all your legal needs? With BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a full-service law firm. Visit bpslawyers.com. BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life. Proud full-service law partner of UConn Athletics. Nick Payne-Dearis is responsible for the content of this ad.
Larry Older here. Let me share Brian's story from Alabama, my mom's home state. He tells us after taking Relief Factor for just 3 weeks, at least 90% of my pain is gone. My pain had started to limit me at work and at home, and now I'm amazed at how much relief I've gotten, end of quote. These are Brian's own words, and they speak volumes about what Relief Factor can do for you. I've told you about my buddy Tom, an avid golfer out on the green almost every single day. He says without Relief Factor, he wouldn't be able to swing freely because of shoulder pain or back pain. But since taking it, he said he stayed active, comfortable, and confident in his swing. He is a scratch golfer. That's why I encourage you to try Relief Factor yourself and see what it can do for you. Don't wait. If you're dealing with daily pain, launch your 3-week quick start and see what Relief Factor can do for you. 800-4RELIEF, 800 the number 4RELIEF, or go to relieffactor.com. That's relieffactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain? 800-4RELIEF, relieffactor.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
We're back, Reese on the Radio, right here live on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. Like I said, got a guest, Marshall Brandon, coming in today at 4 o'clock. We'll talk to him about his comedy roots. And, of course, he'll just doing our funny ha-ha comedy show here in Connecticut very soon. He is I'm going to say a regular at Hartford's Funny Bone. Is that the place that said the Funny Bone? Is that the place in, at the Buckland Hills Mall? Okay, I've gone past it. It looks nice. I've of course moved out since they had it there, but it is a nice little establishment in there.
It's small.
It is small.
Yeah, it's small inside.
Like how many seats?
I don't know. Looks like
50 or
no. It's more than that.
Oh, okay.
Probably 100.
Probably 100.
Yeah.
That's actually a good night. Yeah, you get 100 seats.
Yeah, but it's like very intimate.
It's very intimate. Okay. Comedy. I've been to comedy places that had roughly about 200 seats, like Caroline's on Broadway. I used to work there. Have you ever heard of that place? It's very, very famous in New York. Caroline's on Broadway. It's got the Argyle print as its logo. I worked there, and wow, that was back in like 2001 to 2003. I think I worked there for roughly about 2 years. And I would say my best relationships or events that ever happened, I got very familiar with Rich Voss, who actually did a comedy show of mine. Rich Voss is now featured on Gutfeld's show at 11 o'clock. I've known him way back in the days.
I guess it's bigger than I thought.
Rich Voss?
No, the Funny Bone.
The Funny Bone? Oh, how many people in there?
200.
Yeah, okay. That's a reasonable amount. That's a good amount, in fact. So Rich Voss, you might remember. Do you remember the Dave Chappelle skit called the Player Haters Ball?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, there's a white guy who's there with sort of a kind of a purplish suit on. He's the only white guy in the group when they're going through pictures of like Rosie O'Donnell and stuff like that. If you ever watch that skit again, he's the only white guy in that bit. And he's a short guy with a mustache and beard. That's Rich Voss, good friend of mine from back in the days. He used to be on all the time on our show in New York. But him, Dave, of course, when that was the first season of the Chappelle Show, and the other one was Tracy Morgan. So saw them regularly at Caroline's on Broadway, and that was actually fun because I was a big comedian fan growing up. So then to be around those guys as they were sort of coming up in the business was actually kind of cool. It made me feel like what it would have been like to be around the Rodney Dangerfield types, back in the day when they were on the come up. So I'm really, really excited to have Marshall here to talk about his trips on the road, where he's been, and some of his comedy styling. I miss a lot of old comedy styles back in the day. We used to have what was called sort of routines. Like, okay, I'll give you a perfect example. Jeff Foxworthy, you're familiar with him?
Yep.
He had a running bit during his comedy days, you're a redneck if. And that was something he did in everyone. It was sort of like his closer. Everybody had that. Of course, Rodney Dangerfield, I get no respect. That was his big thing. Today, comedians don't have that. It's like it's always changing. The comedy has to constantly be either relevant, political, or introspective. And no one has those running gags. Take my wife, please. They just don't. They just don't have that sort of routine anymore. And I kind of miss that from the old days.
Yeah, it's a different time now.
I know it's a different time, but I just think that for me, the reason why Jeff Foxworthy could keep that gag running, you're a redneck if, is because the list is endless. And it gets funnier and funnier. It's an evolving bit. And they just don't do that in comedy anymore. And I would always call that sort of the signature move of a comedian. And I think it's just a lost talent.
Well, now they're saying is more than just having a signature move.
Yes.
It's being able to adapt and not have to wait 20 years to shoot a special. You can shoot one every 2 years or every 3 years, or some even drop multiple in the same year. So it's the new generation of, no, we don't have to follow the old school rules. We still can do this what you do, and do it better and faster.
Yeah. First of all, I don't like it better and faster. I like the build-up. But, okay.
I don't need 20 years for a build-up, though.
Yeah.
Just drop the special.
Yeah, I know. But here's my question, right? Everybody thinks that they can do comedy. Not everyone is funny.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Like, I'll admit, Marlon Wayans comes from a comedic and funny writing family, the Wayans. He's not good on stage. He just isn't. And I hate to say it in that way because I like Marlon. I think he's a fantastic actor. He can do everything from comedy to drama. Sometimes he's a little over the top with the comedy, but he's actually very interesting in the craft of creating comedy as a writer. His stand-up, not so much. And why? I think it's because he is a better visual comedian than he is a writing comedian.
Well, I mean, some people love him.
Oh, no, I know
some
they do.
Some people love his stand-up.
Right. Okay, no, I get it. I know they do. They obviously go to his stand-up. I've just, for some odd reason, I think it's very lowbrow. It is. I think it's just easy. That's just me. And the reason why I say that, I'm sort of leading up to this. Have you ever noticed, do you have a favorite comedian who has evolved in his comedy and the evolution sucked? Do you have anyone like that? Like you used to like, all of a sudden they evolved into a comedy you just couldn't listen to anymore?
Well, Kevin Hart is like that for me now.
Really? Yes.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart was like that for me early.
No, I liked him early with all the antics and...
Okay. Because he was very slapsticky.
Say it with your chest.
Yeah.
All of that. I liked all that, but then it got kind of repetitive.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, it was funny, but it's not really doing it for me.
It's not doing what it used to do. Again, if a comedian can have you bowled over laughing where you have to pause it on Netflix, like you completely need to regroup because what he said was so funny, or you need to rewind it. Those used to be the early days of Kevin Hart. Now it's sort of like
some stuff is funny, but it's not like I'm crying, like tears coming out my eyes, like I am when I watch Lavelle Crawford, or those like some of the old school guys, like you said, but they're reinventing themselves, and they're still super funny.
Do you think that once the comedians get wealthy, they lose a little bit of their edge? I almost feel like that's
maybe some of them.
Yeah,
but I don't think all of them, because the ones that are constant, I think is this: they get money and they start branching off doing other things.
Yes, and they sort of lose that focus.
But the ones that stay on tour all year round, they're millionaires.
Yeah,
but they're not like, they're considered not A-list comedians.
Right.
They may be B+, A- list comedians, but they stay on tour all year round. They get money and remain funny.
Yeah,
because they're still doing it. They're doing it every day, so they're still getting new ideas and doing them on the fly. And they're in a rhythm, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like when you're shooting, when I go to the gym, I'll shoot.
Yeah.
And I'll miss a lot of shots, and then all of a sudden I get into this rhythm where I can't miss nothing. Boom,
yeah, I totally get that. I mean,
so I think it's like that for the comedians that stay on the road, even though they're getting a lot of money.
I've always had the luxury. Back in the days when I used to write comedy a little bit, and I used to perform on stage, Boston Comedy Club in New York. The way in which I would do my comedy was strict. It was really, really strict. I never tried my comedy out on my friends. Like a lot of guys will do a set in front of their people and then say, and see how those jokes work and then work that critique and rewrite a little bit. They'll all get together. I never worked like that, one, because I couldn't afford a team, but two, I didn't trust them. I always looked at comedy in a sense of, if I'm going to laugh, I know the crowd will like it. Perfect example. When I did that ridiculous bit called Spanish Words, I was doing that in my head before I ever produced it. Before I ever got a beat for it, before I even started writing it down, I was going in my head with a fake reggaeton beat going Spanish words, and I was rolling on the floor at how funny I thought that was. And Roseanne was like, "What's so funny?" And I'm like, "I'm working out a skit in my head, and I know that it's going to be funny." And she's like, "How do you know?" I said, "If I'm laughing, if I can't control myself in how much I'm laughing at the bit, I know it's going to work." I don't know if comedians do that anymore. I think they're too afraid of their own instinct to write comedy, and I think that's the reason why, in a lot of ways, comedy sucks today.
Well, I wouldn't do it in front of my family anyway.
No,
because I feel like anytime you perform, in front of your family, they're always trying to critique you.
Yes.
Instead of appreciating your gift and your talent.
Yeah.
But it's
like they all want to chime in,
like,
kind of deal. Like they always say, "Oh, you do this joke."
Yeah, but it's like, you can't do this.
Yeah.
But so why you can't just appreciate what I'm displaying for in front of you and be like, okay, I could see how that could be funny or this could be funny. Whereas you'll go somewhere where nobody knows you and you'll do that same routine that you did in front of your family.
Yeah.
And they'll fall out laughing. So I think it's harder to impress your family because they know you, they grew up with you.
Yeah.
So they feel a little bit different about you.
Yeah, they already don't think you're funny.
Yeah. They're like, "Oh, that's corny," or this, or they don't agree with your ideas or whatever. So
yeah, you know what? Nothing is worse than losing a popularity contest in your own home.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing ever. Anyway, I'll just again, I'm going to ask Marshall about a bunch of those things in general, like that evolution. How, because I don't want him to sort of crap on other comedians, but I do want to ask him sort of like in that, how do you prepare with the times changing, with news and sort of society changing every single day? How do you keep up comedically with that and make it funny? Because you almost have to force the issue. Whatever you were talking about yesterday is not relevant tomorrow, which can only make the job, in my view, difficult. But I want to, from a professional, a guy who tours the country, probably has more insight than I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we return. As I said, 4 o'clock, Marshall Brandon, comedian right here out of Hartford, Connecticut, is going to be on the program. And plus, we got more stuff at 3 o'clock. In the next hour, we will talk about the State of the Union and what I am calling the People's Republic State of the Union that's happening right outside when we return. It's Reese on the Radio.
The following is a paid commercial advertisement.
From the Wall Street Sweeper Money Desk, we're with Russ Hackman, president of Hackman Wealth Partners. And Russ, it's all about retirement planning with you, but why worry about taxes in retirement? I mean, don't we all go down to a lower tax rate?
It is a common misunderstanding that your tax rates are going to go down in retirement. In fact, the government is coming to tax your 401k and IRA money. And if you look at the schedule of what may happen to you, in many cases, people have escalating taxes in retirement. You want to have a tax plan in place to make sure that that doesn't happen to you.
For a comprehensive review, no cost, no obligation, 860-321-6800. 860-321-6800. 860-321-6800.
Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Capital Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Discussion of safe and secure products and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products and are subject to the claims paying ability of the insurance company.
The Wall Street Sweeper with Russ Hackman, Sunday mornings at 9:30 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Time is valuable. That's why Lowe's Blueprint Takeoffs turn blueprints into quotes faster. Bring us your plans, and we'll generate itemized material lists to make quoting easier so you can get back to building. Plus, at the Lowe's Pro Desk, you get access to thousands of building materials not sold in store. And when your order's ready, we'll deliver everything to the job site. Improving is easy at Lowe's.
If you love sports, this is the show for you. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos. Weekday mornings 9 to noon Eastern on the free Odyssey app and YouTube at The Costos. Bringing you the biggest NFL news, guests, and notes from the offseason while getting you ready to win the madness of college hoops. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos. Live and interactive Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. Presented by BetMGM. Download the Odyssey app and listen from anywhere for sports talk from people who love sports.
This year, flavor doesn't walk. It runs wild. At P.F. Chang's, we're charging into the year of the horse with bold new wok-fired dishes like pork belly bao buns and refreshing cocktails like the Midnight Gallop. P.F. Chang's beloved red envelope tradition returns, adding a surprise element to every visit during the Lunar New Year. Each guest receives a red envelope revealing a special offer redeemable on a future visit. Celebrate the Lunar New Year with flavor that runs wild at P.F. Chang's. Valid for dine-in only while supplies last. Details at pfchangs.com.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Going to read a couple of statements inside the chat room in several different places. One, I want to give a shout out to Sosa in Ecuador, who's watching the show on YouTube. Thank you, Sosa. We appreciate you. Also, Lori says that the same actions during the Antifa BLM peaceful protest, throwing quick set cement blocks and bricks on and other weaponry, no accountability on, she's talking about, of course, the police who were bombarded with snowballs and snow and ice as well in Washington Square Park. You heard John Silva talking about it at the bottom of the hour news. Bruce said, still waiting for that call from you and Roseanne about the Mark Twain house. Yes, Bruce, we have the number. We will be calling, I promise, and we're going to try to do something this weekend to be there, if that's okay. If there's a particular day that you would like us to come, or you or your daughter would like us to come, let me know and we can arrange that as well. Remember that our schedule is a little, we can't do it during the week, but we can do it on a Saturday or a Sunday. I do understand that there's 2 days during the week when the Mark Twain house isn't open, but it is open on Saturday. We can make it for a Saturday. If you let me know in the chat room, I'll be happy. We would be happy to be there. Roseanne more so than I. I want to read this from a Zach who is writing me, because I asked for an anonymous police officer to send me a note or to call just to give me a response to what I was sort of laying out what happened in New York City with these police officers. And here's what he wrote to me. He says, per your request for anonymous law enforcement, those situations are unfortunately not all that uncommon. I believe it was in New York City as well, where they were soaked with water guns. They were not just soaked with water guns, Zach. They were also had buckets of water doused on them. I mean, people coming up into close proximity, even behind the officers, dousing them with water. He says, I never dealt with that, thankfully. But on a less serious level, I'll get flipped off multiple times a day by people driving by, or they shout out their window at you. Just yesterday during the storm, I was in a parking lot and someone drove by and says, time to do some work. I was writing a report for someone who just had an accident. The day after the officers were shot in Dallas, someone walked up to me and my partner and said, better watch out. They do know it's done down in, they do know how it's done down in Dallas. He says, you learn to live with it. It's disheartening, but there's a lot of good people too. The hardest part is not having those in charge, governors or legislators, that have your back. Instead, hands become tied. That's what NYPD is facing. If they react, they know they will end up on the wrong kind of famous. It's either you let it happen or you're posted all over the news. Your life is over. Family isn't safe. And likely you end up charged. It's horrible, and it's caused a massive shortage. No, I appreciate where you're coming from, and I know that's what it's like. In that instance, you know, you're taking your life into your own hands should you react. But again, and I can't be in this position, so forgive me while I Monday morning quarterback the whole deal. And this is the concern that I have. The only person who has to have the highest level of trust is you in your profession. In essence, you've got to trust that the person throwing the snowball at you is just throwing a snowball at you. You have to trust that the person who's grabbing that bucket of water and dousing you is only a bucket of water, and they mean to do you no other harm. The bucket of water, I understand it. You have got to assess that in the moment. But you cannot react because, again, then your life is in your hands. How you react, and if it is heavy-handed, no matter what that individual did to you, you will always be the villain. But that is not because you were. That is because of the atmosphere. We have made it allowable, for lack of a better word, for you to be ostracized and treated in such a dehumanizing way that people think it's okay for these things to happen to you. And if you react to them naturally, you are immediately dubbed a criminal. Everything, there's excuses. He just threw water. It was just a block of ice. That's the routine. In my view, I say, screw that. Because the only way it's going to be pushed back is if we push back. We've got to hold legislators and governors and mayors accountable to that. We cannot. We have to say it right to their face. You are creating this atmosphere where people think that they can do that to us. And you have got to do something about it today. And it cannot be tolerated. We have to have every one of those people locked up, and they must do serious time. And we must make sure that it is not normal for them to do that to police officers under any circumstances, joking or serious. Demeaning law enforcement means a whole lot of other things. It ain't just as simple as hitting somebody with a snowball and dousing them with water. There are so many more ramifications to those actions. It's a loss of authority and respect. How am I supposed to save a life if I can't even get? I mean, how am I supposed to even engage with them if I'm going to be disrespected? We got to take a break. Top of the hour coming up. The People's Republic State of the Union. We'll talk about it when we return and who's going. Here's John Sylvan in WTIC Newsroom.
This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
3 o'clock, 30 degrees, partly sunny skies. We'll have clouds increasing tonight. And guess what? More snow for tomorrow. We'll have the forecast details coming up. President Trump delivers his State of the Union this evening. Among the expected topics, what the U.S. intends to do about Iran.
2 aircraft carriers that are now in place, USS Gerald R. Ford, which we believe to be off the coast of the Mediterranean. USS Abraham Lincoln, again with the F-35s and the F-18 fighter jets in place if, and this is a big if, by the way, if called upon to attack Iran. And if that happens, to provide protection, force protection for the tens of thousands of U.S. troops in this region.
That's Charlie D'Agata at the Pentagon. WTIC News Talk 1080 will air the president's speech live beginning at 9 this evening. Nancy Guthrie was last seen nearly 4 weeks ago. She was taken from her home in Tucson. Savannah Guthrie on social media today said,
"We need to know where she is. We need her to come home. For that reason, we are offering a family reward of up to $1 million.
More from correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti.
24 days, you had Savannah Guthrie and her family in a number of posts holding out hope that their mother could be alive, now calling it a miracle if she is alive, while also coming to the understanding, to terms with the fact that she may be, in fact, dead, and that they're now looking for her body, while desperately pleading for anyone with information to help them find Nancy Guthrie.
Cleanup continues all across the Northeast today following the big blizzard that dumped record amounts of snow. Here's correspondent Peter King.
More than 3 feet in New Bedford, Massachusetts.
That represents the largest snowfall on record in the city's history.
Mayor John Mitchell says high winds made it impossible to keep the streets clear.
It blew snow back into places that had been plowed. Streets were filled back up again. So from the plow driver's perspective, from the city's perspective, for that matter, it was as though we're plowing the same city over, say, 3 times.
Now, over here in Connecticut, North Stonington seems to have hit the snow jackpot with about 2.5 feet. Mary Ann Farrell Williams spent today digging a path for her propane delivery.
I'm surprised they were even going to come. There was trucks all over the place yesterday. It was really a mess.
And it looks as if the state is extending its severe cold weather protocol.
A day after the blizzard, the snow's not appearing to go away anytime soon, and it also seems like the cold's here to stay, at least for a few more days, too. Connecticut's currently activated severe cold weather protocol was supposed to expire at noon today, but with more frigid temperatures, particularly at night in the forecast, the state is extending its cold weather protocol through noon Thursday. Anybody in need of shelter or warming center is urged to visit 211ct.org or call 211 to find available locations, 211ct.org or call 211. Morgan Cunningham, WTIC 1080 News.
WTIC News Time coming up on 3:04. Checking traffic on this Tuesday. What road work there was seems to have come to an end for the most part in the area. So we're in fairly decent shape. 8491 routes 291 traveling well through the Hartford area. We have no reports of any problems along the Merritt or Wilbur Cross Parkways. Route 8 seems to be okay out of Waterbury. And looks like a clear shot for us along the 95 corridor from Greenwich up through Bridgeport. Here's the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
The clouds that we started to see build during the afternoon will continue to increase overnight. The low temperature 7 above. That means anything that melted or is wet is going to refreeze, especially on bridges and overpasses, parking lots, and sidewalks. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and cold. We'll have a few periods of snow in the morning. That'll accumulate 1 to 2 inches, so a few slippery spots for the morning commute tomorrow. And then a bit of snow and rain at times in the afternoon. The high temperature 42. A rain or snow shower in a few spots tomorrow night, otherwise partly cloudy, and it will dry out after midnight. The low temperature 23. Mostly cloudy on Thursday. Snow and flurries at times during the day. Little to no snow accumulation. The high temperature 39. Friday, mostly sunny, up to 39, and Saturday feeling a little bit more closer to spring-like weather, mostly sunny, up to 48 degrees. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
All right, the Dow's up 369 points, the Nasdaq's ahead 225, and the S&P's up 48. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
When disasters strike unexpectedly, every year American families lose the one thing they'd run back into a burning building for, their family's memories. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Adam. We started Legacy Box to help save your family's most important recorded moments so you don't have to worry.
Load Legacy Box with your old movies, film reels, and shoeboxes of photos.
We work our digitizing magic, converting those memories right to the cloud so they're safe and accessible forever.
It's fast, we always send your originals back, and it's done right here in the USA.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box. Better Homes and Garden, Real Simple, and Inc. magazine are all talking about Legacy Box.
New York Times columnist David Pogue says, have them digitized. I wish I'd done it sooner. Take action. Save your family's memories today with Legacy Box.
Go to legacybox.com/value to get an incredible 50% off your Legacy Box. That's legacybox.com/value for 50% off while supplies last. LegacyBox.com/value.
Sex, intimacy, love. These three things are critical to a good relationship. That's the problem with erectile dysfunction. It often destroys sexual enjoyment and intimacy. It stresses the love between partners, often to the breaking point. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you're suffering with ED, you likely know exactly what I'm talking about. But I also want you to know that ED doesn't have to impact your relationship anymore. At Northeast Men's Health, we're ED experts with our focus on men's sexual health. We've treated tens of thousands of men and have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. I promise you, if you're like most guys, you can get your sex life back, perhaps even performing like you haven't in years. So if ED is affecting you, it's time to get back to better sex, better intimacy, and deeper love. Call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or visit northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
We'll get to the State of the Union. By the way, if you wish to listen to the State of the Union, you can find it right here on WTIC. It airs, of course, at 9 p.m., and we will share it in its entirety. Make sure you tune in here for that. So if you're driving on the road, working on the overnight shift on the roads, you can definitely listen to it here on WTIC, so you will not miss it. I want to read this because before I get into that whole the State of the Union, I got this text message from somebody on the left. He says, Reese, do you know why the police force was established? It was to protect the rich from the poor. The first organized publicly funded professional full-time police services were established in Boston in 1838, New York in 1844, Salt Lake City in 1851, and Philadelphia in 1854. The police are always going to face the anger of the ordinary people. The ordinary people. Because those same police treat the rich differently. Now, I thought I had heard enough dumb things from this individual who's writing me. They never cease to amaze. If you think throwing snowballs and ice on the heads of police officers, especially people who are part of the community, police officers, strangers they don't know, if you think that that is the reaction of an ordinary person, you are either misguided or stupid. Please don't be the latter, because being stupid is not an insult. It's dangerous. And you're a dangerous person to think that. Here I am talking about what happened in New York and what those officers faced. We're talking about people blatantly throwing concrete slabs at them in Baltimore, dousing water on them in New York City, now throwing ice blocks at them in New York City. And you say the word ordinary people? And please don't get into me about the rich versus the poor. The police don't patrol rich neighborhoods. They patrol the poor ones, because in the poor neighborhoods, that's where all of these vagrants dwell. Savages dwell. That's what they are. Please do not try to explain to me the role of police versus ordinary people. Ordinary people go to work, take care of their families. They have no animus towards the police. They understand the police's role. They make sure that they are there to patrol, to keep those savages at bay, to think twice before they exact some sort of violence on regular folks innocently just going about their daily lives. If you don't understand that, again, you are misguided or stupid. I hope you're not the latter, because again, stupid is dangerous. Please don't share your opinions on this subject. You clearly don't know anything about the police. You never have, and you never will. Just say, I hate them, and move on. Okay? These police officers did not join the ranks in the 1800s in Boston. Stop sounding stupid. If it's not your intent, you're failing miserably. Okay? Thank you. Now, let's get to it. Apparently, while the President of the United States gives his State of the Union, many people on the left, 4 senators and congressmen alike, are going to be out there at 8 o'clock doing what's called the People's Republic State of the Union. Yes, comrades. Yes, comrades. The People's Republic State of the Union. Yes. Who will be in attendance? Well, there will be Comrade Katie Fang, Comrade Joy Reid. Also in attendance will be Senator Christoph Murphy, Comrade Adam Schiff, our favorite margarita drinking comrade Chris Van Hollen, Democrat here from the great state of Connecticut, Jim Himes. Also, Muslim comrade Pramila Jayapal, our favorite comrade, looks even like old Russian warrior, John Larson. Bald-headed comrade Ariana Presley will be there. And of course, Maryland's own Jewish comrade, Jamie Raskin. Other people in attendance will be Epstein survivors, families affected by ICE enforcement. Also, fired or impacted federal public health workers, along with illegal immigrants, activists, organizers from other coalition groups. All of it brought to you by the great comrades of Open Society, the Tides Advocacy Foundation, 1630 Fund, unions such as AFT, SEIU, and the National Education Association. All of these companies are 501c4, but they are there to fight against free Americans, making sure that communism is spread far and wide. Don't forget to bring a coat, because it would be held outside in frigid temperatures, just like the Soviets love it. We hope you enjoy. I miss that. I miss doing my Russian accent. Yeah, they're doing this. They're serious. While we hold the State of the Union, they're going to be holding the People's Republic State of the Union outside. Now, I don't know if anyone remembers this because they have such a short memory. But does anybody remember the Super Bowl halftime show? And all the hubbub that was made about the All-American halftime show at Turning Point USA? Like, are we supposed to just forget that? that there was all of this mess about them holding a counter halftime show, an entertainment show, not a political one, an entertainment show where they would be showing their faith in God and in country. That was considered controversial. How dare they do that? It was racist and bigoted even, because Bad Bunny's Puerto Rican. And now all of a sudden, they're holding a counter outside People's Republic State of the Union, hosted by the likes of racist, race baiter Joy Reid, and all the rest of her cohorts. This is good. And again, I mean, I'm looking at some of the organizations that are involved here in the live streaming effort. Midas Touch Network with MoveOn.org or whatever they are. That organization is completely out of sorts. They got a lot of scandal going on with them. They have millions and millions of dollars of funding by these organizations I just pointed out. The Tides Foundation, the Ford Foundation, Open Society, which of course is a Soros company. Millions of dollars. And all of these people are standing out there for what? In the cold for what? Just after a blizzard for what? Michael A. says they're all being paid. I hope so. Somebody should be paid for standing out in the cold for a counter State of the Union. And are they telling us that this is supposed to be grassroots, that this is just, people just banding together to get, for what? No one's going to show up. Who are the bozos that are going to be out there in the cold for this? For what? You really think that Donald Trump's first State of the Union, by the way, for those of you who don't know, this is the first State of the Union in the second term. Do you think that people aren't going to have their eyes on the State of the Union? Do you really think you're going to beat the State of the Union? Do you think that people are going to leave the State of the Union to go online to watch this list of practical 1% poll-getting people? Who on here is the most, I would say, noteworthy individual? I'll give you all of them. Which one of these people is more popular than, let's say, the United States hockey team that just won gold? Which one of these folks do you think would watch the hockey team on camera as opposed to these bozos? Let me run a couple of names by you. Ruben Gallego? How about Ed Markey out of Massachusetts? I don't even know who this guy is. Jeff Merkley? As I mentioned, Chris Murphy, he can't get out of one as far as polling goes. Adam Schiff? Tina Smith? Is this the crossdresser? Chris Van Hollen? I don't know who these people are out of Arizona. Yasemin Ansari? Becca Balint? I know who that is. Greg Cesar? Lizzie Fletcher? Maxwell Frost? You mean Chris Murphy's African-American Robin? That's what he is. Come on, let's be honest. Both of those guys are the Timu, Batman, and Robin. Chris Murphy and Maxwell Frost. Little socialist. Sylvia Garcia, have no idea who that is. Raul Grijalva, I can't even pronounce his name. Of course, Jim Himes. Sarah Jacobs. I don't even know who that is. As I mentioned, Pramila Jayapal, the least attractive of the squad. Even the bald-headed chick is cuter than her. Sydney Carmlegger, Dove. Of course, John Larson. Summer Lee. Teresa Lager Fernandez. Jennifer McLean Delaney. Morgan McGarvey. Shalene Pingery. Delia Ramirez. Mary Gay Scallion, Jamie Raskin, Melanie Stansberg, Bonnie Watson Coleman, Veronica Escobar. These people are not heavy hitters. No one even knows who they are. I mentioned the people that you know, and that counts as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These people have a collective polling number of 30. There's 8 people. If you polled them for presidential candidates, I bet you they wouldn't reach 25% combined. And it's hosted by Katie Fang and Joy Reid. No one even knows who Katie Fang is. Joy Reid, the fact that it's hosted by Joy Reid, she couldn't get 500,000 people to watch her MSNBC show. She was making $3 million a year at a show she could not compete with her rivals on any of the networks. Couldn't compete. They fired her. And somebody hired her for this event like she's some influence? I mean, at least the counter halftime show had Kid Rock, and they pulled in 25 million views overall. It's absolutely astonishing. And the amount of money that's being spent by these organizations is mind-boggling. I looked at some of these numbers. Folks, look at this. The general operating grants that keep the professional staff, rapid response machine, petitions, and events running year-round. The 2024 990 shows $7.37 million in expenses, heavy on salaries. That's how much they spent, the Midas Touch and these Move On groups. And all of that is coming from people like the Tides Group and the Open Society groups. I'm stunned by all of this. And sure enough, they're going to run it. The only reason Larson is going to be there is because it's an election year. But who's going to care? No one's going to watch it. John Larson would have a better shot at being inside that State of the Union and having the camera go on him at least twice. He'll get more viewers that way than anywhere else. It's Donald Trump's State of the Union. Everyone is watching that. Everyone. Like him or hate him, Donald Trump is going to have every eyeball. Everyone else, as far as eyeballs are concerned, they're rolling their eyes at this stupid event. They are rolling their eyes. They're going, what's this about? And with all due respect, everyone knows that this is paid for. Do you understand that? You can't have protest after protest after protest, and then it get revealed over and over again how much money is going into it, how many rich benefactors there are into it, and then try to say that it is grassroots. Then try to convince everyone that this is the opposition obviously upset about Donald Trump's presidency. They're not. When you have to pay people to show up, when you have to pay people to be rabble-roused, when you have to pay the regular protester $50, but then you pay the agitator $100 an hour. Okay? When you have to do that, there is nothing organic about it. Hell, if my audience, if they know that they wouldn't get caught doing it, you could pay them $50 an hour. In fact, I would say call all my people in the summertime. Roseanne was like, what are we doing wrong here? I just hope the Geico caveman will be there to wave his cane again and get booted out. Why are you calling Al Green the Geico caveman? That's not nice. That's mean. He annoys me. He just does. Boy, does he annoy me. Ugh. I can't wait till he's voted out. What's going on, Ralph?
Good afternoon.
What's up, buddy?
What's up? Couple things. First of all, listening to all these people, the Democrats talking about Epstein, they had 4 years when they controlled everything. They did nothing, Reese. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, we're going to talk about
that
in the next half hour. I've got a great article that was in the New York Times that came out today, and it's gone viral. It's a great story.
And I got to ask you a question, and all your listeners. Do you think, and this is what I think, every single Republican, Reese, ought to say to their people, just everybody out there, we will not use four-letter words. We will respect you. We will respect your children. And we're not going to use profanity because it's
when you
not
say using
required.
profanity, what do you mean? Like in the public square?
On TV, everywhere.
Yeah, I know. Look, I saw that woman. I guess she had some campaign where she's got the people saying F Trump in her campaign. People think that shock value works. You want to know why? Because they cannot be. Imagine having to go that far to draw attention to yourself because Trump sucks so much oxygen out of the room. Here's the way that you should think about this, Ralph, and it's very, very true. Democrats have gotten to the point where they are let's just say they are just short of strapping a bomb to themselves in order to get attention. That's all they are. Because they cannot get any attention any other way. That's how bad it's gotten for them.
Right. But, Reese, and I'm an older person, but this is how I look at it. It's called you respect people. You respect them. You respect their rights. And you get these little children, 6, 7, 8 years old, listening to this. Hey, I can use those words. They're using them.
I know.
It must be okay.
You know what? Do you remember in 2016 that Hillary Clinton ran a campaign showing kids watching TV in the dark, talking about how they are hearing the way that Donald Trump talks and how bad that is for our kids to grow up? And now look at them throwing F-bombs everywhere. They've completely abandoned that idea. That's just where it is.
It's like part of their language, and that bothers the heck out of me because I don't want to hear that.
I hear you.
I want to find out, where do you stand on issues?
I
what
hear
have you done?
I hear you.
Please tell me what your plans are. You got nothing except a four-letter word. There's something terribly wrong with you.
I think that right there is exactly where they are in their, I guess as far as their political platform is. They have nothing, so anything left is four-letter words. I got to take a break, Ralph. Thank you, buddy. Let's get out of here. We'll be back shortly, and we'll take your phone calls, so stand by. It's Reese on the Radio.
UConn's Silas Demery Jr. and Braylon Mullins know winning takes trust, hustle, and the right team.
I work both ends of the court. That's the only way to win. And when the pressure's on, I trust my team on the court and in life.
That's why they trust BPS lawyers, handling personal injury, family law, and more.
I'm Nick Payne-Darris. At BPS Lawyers, we're one full-service firm. All your legal needs, always.
BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life.
Brian Jackman here from WTIC News Talk 1080. I want to talk about Allaire Elder Law. You know, I interview people all the time, and Haley Allaire has come on our air so many times, and one day I was just like, you know what? The stuff she's talking about, I haven't done. And now my wife is like, we need to do it. So I'm working with Haley and Allaire Elder Law to try to figure out what to do. Listen, we've saved for retirement, we've saved for college, but we have no idea what to do after that. And so Haley's going to help us out with wills, trusts, probate to make sure that next phase of life will work out as smoothly as humanly possible. And listen, I talk to people every day. I want to deal with someone local who I can trust. Haley's from here. It's a family practice. You need to talk to her, you call her. And that's why my wife and I have chosen to work specifically with Haley. And we suggest you give them a call too, because whatever you might need help with, listen, it's not a problem until it's a problem. So you might want to avoid that. AllaireElderLaw.com. Again, ALLAIRE elderlaw.com.
Paid for by government. The 1986 to 2021 United States Silver Eagle, the first ever U.S. silver dollar minted in 99.9% pure silver and is the best-selling coin in the world. These original and historic silver dollars have ceased production forever. They will never be minted again. For a limited time only, full-pound bags of original U.S. government-struck silver dollars are being released to the public. You can own a full pound of original U.S. silver dollar coins featuring Lady Liberty and the heraldic eagle, never to be struck again. win, guaranteed. Call now to secure original United States Silver Eagles by the pound. The first U.S. silver dollars ever to be struck in 99.9% pure silver. Plus, receive a free bonus, an American Collector's Pack valued at over $40 and free shipping with every order. Call 1-800-560-6468 now to secure your full pound bag of United States Silver Eagle coins before they are gone. That's 1-800-560-6468.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
3:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Among the guests of President Trump at tonight's State of the Union address, the USA men's Olympic hockey team, fresh off their win over Canada Sunday in the gold medal game. Also, Erica Kirk, the wife of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated at an appearance last September at Utah Valley University. Polling shows the president struggling with political moderates, but Quinnipiac University political science professor Scott McLean doesn't expect Trump to back off from his more extreme policies, he says, during the State of the Union.
Given the benefit of the doubt in the election by independents, youth, Latinos, African Americans, all tilted a little bit towards Trump in the second election. Now, polls are really looking tough for him. And yet, I think we will not hear any backing down from Trump. If anything, he'll double down.
Tonight's State of the Union will air live at 9 here on WTIC News Talk 1080. A husband and wife are dead in Plainfield. Police say 62-year-old John Ezell called them Monday to say his wife Christine was suffering from terminal cancer and that he'd end hers and his lives. The couple were found dead in their Kate Downing Road home. Police say a firearm was found nearby. Cleanup from the big blizzard continues. Southeastern part of Connecticut seems to have hit the jackpot when it comes to snow. North Stonington checking in with over 2.5 feet. New plea and a higher reward. $1 million from Savannah Guthrie. 3.5 weeks after the abduction of her 84-year-old mother, Nancy, Savannah Guthrie says the family is still holding out hope, but also realizes it may be too late. Teenager found shot early Sunday morning on Ann Street in Hartford has died. Officers say Camden Siegel was 17, found unresponsive and taken to an area hospital early Sunday morning. He died this morning. So far, there have been no arrests. In the meantime, a male in his 20s brought to the hospital with a gunshot wound while police process that scene. Remains hospitalized in critical but stable condition. WTIC News Time 3:32. Here's the forecast.
Clouds continuing to build as we go throughout the rest of the overnight period. The low temperature 7 above. A couple of icy spots because of the refreezing of the melted snow during the day. Also, a period of snow tomorrow morning accumulating 1 to 2 inches. That'll be followed by some snow and rain in the afternoon with a high of 42. So watch out for some slippery spots during the morning commute. A rain or snow shower in spots tomorrow night during the evening. Otherwise partly cloudy and dry. The low temperature 23. And a couple of snow flurries at times late in the day on Thursday. Little to no snow accumulation. The high 39. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
Checking traffic in Glastonbury. Route 2 east between exits 5 and 6. Looks like the left lane is taken out there due to a crash. Dow's up 373 points. NASDAQ's up 212, and the S&P is up 48. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and at newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Lenseek.
Apple is working on new AI-powered devices, including smart glasses and a pendant that can be clipped on or worn as a necklace. Bloomberg reports that Apple's smart glasses will come with a high-resolution camera, speakers, and a microphone, and will need to be tethered to a nearby iPhone, just like the new pendant device, which also will come with a camera and mic. Apple is also working on new AirPods that are expected to have AI features. I'm Jason Brooks.
As the owner, coach, and quarterback of your small business, you call the shots. From inventory to payroll and more. Now it's time to bring in LendSeek, your funding MVP. No delay of game here. Get up to $2 million in as fast as 24 hours for business lines of credit or term loans. Let LendSeek's AI marketplace assist you in making the winning play and score that touchdown. Apply at lendseek.com, LENDSEEK.com.
Hey everyone, I'm Josh Radner, and I am so excited to tell you about How We Made Your Mother, a rewatch podcast looking back at How I Met Your Mother. And I'm here with Craig Thomas, who co-created the show along with Carter Bays. Hi, Craig.
Hey, Josh. Somehow it has been 20 years since the show premiered. I'm going to check the math on that. 10 years since it went off the air, and we thought that made this a perfect time to look back, see what the hell we did, and why the show still seems to resonate with fans around the world today.
Follow and listen to How We Made Your Mother wherever you get your podcast.
Entonces, en total, ¿cuánto dirías que perdiste en la estafa?
Más de 1 millón. Trabajé duro toda mi vida y quería a alguien con quien compartirlo. Pensé que él realmente me amaba, pero me engañó.
Cada año, los estadounidenses mayores pierden cientos de millones de dólares en estafas románticas como esta. Estamos trabajando arduamente para detener estas estafas antes de que comiencen. Soy William Tong, abogado general de Connecticut, junto con AARP.
Visite aarp.org/Fraud Watch Network.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One question I'm always asked is, how did you become the largest injury firm in the world with over 1,000 attorneys and $25 billion in verdicts and settlements? One way was our financial strength. Medical malpractice is the third leading cause of death in America. To prosecute a typical case costs up to $250,000 in case costs. We advance them all. Product liability cases can have similar costs with an army of lawyers on the other side. Automobile insurance companies have the resources to fight. Guess what? So do we. Many law firms simply may not have the financial firepower to work up your case the way you deserve. And we don't charge by the hour. No recovery, no fee. If you have a question about your case or wish to become a client, go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds, and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day, and nothing worked until Mark Patrick hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food, crazy, enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again. My blood pressure went down, and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Lose weight or stop smoking with hypnosis, only $59.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings. That's right. Seminars Thursday, March 12th, Cambria Hotel, Manchester South and South Windsor. Weight loss hypnosis, 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking hypnosis, 8 p.m. Or Saturday, March 14th, Holiday Inn Express, Southington. Weight loss, 11 a.m. Stop smoking hypnosis, 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Listen to WTIC News Talk 1080 on the free Odyssey app. Download and like WTIC today for alerts on special programming.
We're back. Reese on the radio. Again, our guest today is going to be Marshall Brandon, comedian right here out of Hartford. He is in town for a little bit, so I thought I'd have him on the show since I'm going to be inviting him to be our headliner at our Funny Ha Ha comedy show happening in May in Farmington. So we'll talk to him about that and, of course, about his travels in the comedy world. A little bit of politics, a little bit of, pop culture stuff. That's what he's into. And I've got a lot of questions about somebody of his stature who's been in this business for considerable time and the new age of comedy. So stand by for that. I just got an alert that he is about 15 minutes out, or at least that was what they told me at 3:30. So he should be here shortly. I will have him sit down right there across from Reese on the radio. Let me grab Chris in Wethersfield here real quick. How you doing, Chris? Thanks for calling.
Good, Reese. How are you today?
I'm good. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. I've just been so busy.
I understand.
Listening today. Hey, I'd like to comment on the older gentleman who called right before.
Okay.
And he's right. It's getting out of, all the rhetoric gets out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I do want to say here is the term smash mouth politics.
Mm.
In my view, I had never seen that until Trump campaigned in 2015.
Right.
Like, it was all pretty, up and up. And if things got a little bit crazy at debates, eyebrows would raise. But he went beyond eyebrows. Man,
it was beyond the pale. And
right.
if I can with you a little bit, I'm going to kind of take you down sort of memory lane with all of this. And can I tell you, in my opinion of why I think it was acceptable, even though he sort of started a trend? Like, I can totally give him, I can say that Donald Trump is responsible for the way in which politics evolved or devolved. Let's call it that. But
okay, I'll keep you to that statement.
Okay.
Though, okay.
And I truly do believe this. Because what Donald Trump did was he got this onslaught of people who were dismissive of his campaign. For, at the time, which was good reason. I dismissed his campaign because he was sitting at 6%, and the heavy hitters like Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, these guys were establishment folks who we knew as politicians. And they were dismissing Donald Trump as a joke. Donald Trump's response to that was, I am not going to be dismissed. Just because I'm a businessman and who has dealt with politicians, you are not going to write me off. And he went after three very important things. One, the frustration of Republicans who had put their all their stock in Republicans who did not deliver under the Obama administration. They sort of tied their hands together because they were afraid of being called a racist. The second one ties directly into that with political correctness, because he believed political correctness hamstrung Republicans from fighting liberalism more importantly, Barack Obama. And he thought the only way he could combat that, in his view, right or wrong, he thought that he had to give this sort of smash mouth approach that he knew that Americans' frustration would resonate. And what happened when he tried it? He went from that 6% to the leader of the pack in a field of 17 people. He skyrocketed. So it worked for him. So if I look at that and I go, yes, did it devolve? Absolutely. Did it work for him? Yes, because he used Americans' frustration as the apparatus to get him to prominence and, of course, to win the election.
Yep. Okay. I got it. But so then why can't the opposition use that for a level of frustration on their opposite side?
Great question. And it's the same. And I'm going to give you the answer I give to all of my kids and young people who I engage with. Never be who you are not. You see, Donald Trump is Donald Trump. He always will be. But if you are a good person, right? When my wife says to me, like my ex-wife will say to me, you cheated on me, what would it be like if I cheat on you? And I go, you're not a cheater. Are you going to be something in order to combat me? Like, are you going to change who you are in order to combat me? And you think that you're challenging me? Do you think that you're actually meeting me with equal measure if you do the thing that you're not accustomed to? That's not your style.
I understand your point. But understand this. You remember when Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high? I think that going high crap is done. We're done with that.
Okay.
Not we as in a Democrat, because I'm not a Democrat.
Okay.
I'm just trying to debate on a.
No, I totally get where your point of view is. I don't take what you're saying as sort of an ulterior motive. I get you're having a very reasonable conversation. Yeah. No, I think you're having a reasonable conversation. I don't think that you have any ulterior motive. And you're right.
But I think that's where we are. And I think that's where the gentleman before, he was saying, I don't want to hear that, but I think that's where we are. I think going high is done for the Democrats. They can't go high anymore because
why isn't it resonating with their base, though?
Because I think they're at the point where they're starting to wake up and say, you know what? If I have to fight Mike Tyson, then I got to train like Mike Tyson. I got to do Mike Tyson. I got to be Mike Tyson in a different way. I think they're trying. This is just my view, my stupid 2 cents, Reese. Okay.
No, it's okay. I'm listening. You don't have to. You don't have to caveat anything. I promise. I'm listening.
No, yeah, I'm just thinking out loud. But I'm thinking. I think they need to step up to a level of where their competition is.
Okay, that's true. Yeah, no, I totally get it. Okay, it's almost like what I think the Democrats are doing is, and I think that you're right in this, right? So they are training for their opponent and not shadow boxing anymore, because that's the way politics used to be. Politics. What's the worst thing that can happen in shadow boxing? You learned how to beat yourself, but guess what? Yourself just mirrors yourself, right? That's what. But you have to train for the opponent. You have to know how the opponent jabs. You have to know when the opponent gets weak. You have to know where the opponent has its weakness, and you have to train for that. But here's the deal, right? What's the one thing? I'd say Mike Tyson is a perfect example. Do you want to know the biggest criticism about Mike Tyson and all of his knockouts?
That's sad, Reese.
It is true, but here's the biggest argument: that the people that Mike Tyson knocked out were bums, that they were not true, competitors. Like the people he beat up were virtual unknowns who never stood a chance against Mike Tyson. Sure, they had hype enough, but the guy who beat him was Buster Douglas. In that particular day, the person who was off their game was Mike Tyson. Yeah, exactly. So the only person who was his biggest weakness was Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson will always be Mike Tyson until he's not Mike Tyson. And that's the whole deal with the Democrats. The Democrats keep saying that, look, we're going to meet, Mike Tyson with Mike Tyson type moves and wonder why they keep failing. And the bottom line is that you cannot beat Mike Tyson by being Mike Tyson. You have to be the opponent that can beat Mike Tyson and get him when he is not Mike Tyson. In essence, when he's lazy, when he's not got his eye on the ball, when he slows down, when he makes an unforced error. You have to go after him and work in those spaces. But if you go in there and says, Donald Trump does this, I'm going to do it too. That isn't authentic. You are being Donald Trump and not Hakeem Jeffries.
I got it, dude. Thank you so much, Reese. I appreciate the debate. I really do.
Chris, I love it when you call, because like I said, one thing I love about you is you don't come here with animus. You really come here to have a conversation, and in some cases learn and sometimes educate me. So I love your point of view, and I love hearing it out.
Thanks, brother. You have a great day.
Thank you, man. You too. And it's been a long time since I get Chris. I miss conversations with him like that. Thank you, Lori. I didn't know that Katie person was the California Democrat that got was in that horrible interview where she ended it quickly. That was insane. Anyway, folks, on Friday, the Republicans at the Finance, Revenue, and Bonding Committee are going to be having a public hearing at 11 a.m., 300 Capitol Avenue in Hartford at the, it says LOB Room 2E, where you can testify in person or on Zoom. And this this Friday on the 27th is your chance to have your voice heard before state lawmakers considering our proposal to end tax on tips and overtime, House Bill 5010 in Connecticut. The public hearing in the Finance, Revenue, and Bonding Committee will begin at 11 a.m. with options in the in-person or virtual testimony. You may also submit a written testimony. The deadline to register is Thursday at 3 p.m. So this is something that needs to be addressed. Tomorrow we're going to talk to Cara D'Amato about this and about the we'll talk a little bit more about this on Friday. At 5 o'clock, because I think there's a problem with the promotion of this event because they need to focus on the fact that there is a federal option to not be taxed on tips. It needs to be understood that we need to get rid of it locally, statewide, and this is important. We'll talk about that in roughly about the 5 o'clock hour. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views, and we'll read your comments on YouTube. And, of course, if you're sending them to me on Facebook, I'll read those as well. We'll be back. It's Reese on the Radio.
Men, we all know how important sex is in a relationship, both for you and for your partner. But erectile dysfunction ruins sex, which can often have serious impacts on your relationship as well. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if ED is a problem in your life, you understand the impact it has on you and the one you love. But I'm here to tell you that ED is a treatable condition, and almost without exception, you can have really good sex again. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men with protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, good sex will be the norm. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a level of intimacy for you and your partner that might just astound you both. It's time to have really good sex again. So call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or visit northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Time is valuable. That's why Lowe's Blueprint Takeoffs turn blueprints into quotes faster. Bring us your plans, and we'll generate itemized material lists to make quoting easier so you can get back to building. Plus, at the Lowe's Pro Desk, you get access to thousands of building materials not sold in store. And when your order's ready, we'll deliver everything to the job site. Improving is easy at Lowe's.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we are back. Coming up very soon is Hartford's own Marshall Brandon is going to be on the show. We'll talk to him about a slew of things, about his career living here in Hartford. I'm looking at him now, and I'm saying to himself, he looks like he's from Brooklyn, not from Hartford. I don't know anything about that. I don't know what a Hartford look is, but he's got a Brooklyn, very MOP, Andy-up look. As soon as he walked into the building, I looked for my wallet. He looks like one of those dudes, like you can't trifle with him. I totally got that off the bat. I was like, how does a guy like you get funny? Because, you have a, what's the word we're looking for? Grimy look about you.
Yeah, I've been told that.
You've been told you have a grimy look.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm not going to lie. You either look like somebody who's going to, like the gunman or the trigger man, or possibly like you don't look like the funny man. Like you look like you might be the bouncer.
Well, yeah, I guess my life ain't no joke. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
That's my job. It's my job to be funny. But yeah, I get that. I actually did live in Brooklyn for 12 years.
It rubbed off.
Oh.
I'm from Queens. We know what that look is. All right, we know what that look is. We're gonna we'll talk to Marshall Brandon in a second. Stand by for that. I got to give him the whole background. As soon as we were telling my boss that you were going to be here, he was like, comedian. Okay, tell him the rules about language. And I'm like, we'll go through the rigmarole. Everybody's always worried about the comedian only knows how to work with curse words, so don't worry about that. We'll you done church shows. Okay, you're going to be fine. Anyway, we'll get all that. We'll get his camera set up. We got plenty of stuff to talk to him about. Also, Reg from the morning crew over at Hot 93. Sorry, I got to say it the way that it's said. Hot 93 Sim. He is in the building as well. We'll show him some love as well. We'll talk to him. Are you his manager, Reg? No, just his boy? Just real tight? Okay, all right, just making sure. I don't know who has management nowadays. I know I don't have management. I need to work on that. But see, if I get management, I have a particular person who is going to be my manager. One, I have to be married to her. I think I do have a manager now that I think about it. Her name is Roseanne. Yeah. She said, she says every day if she meets somebody, she tells somebody in the street, she goes, my husband, he's on the radio. He's over in WTIC. And I go, will you please stop telling people that? She goes, honey, I'm pimping you out. Please be quiet. She says it every time. So we'll get to that in a little bit. Plus, we got other news and other views to get into. Please, as I said before, if you're interested in speaking at this public hearing about no taxes on tips and no taxes on overtime, make sure you get to the 300 Capitol Avenue location, room 2E, so that your voices can be heard at 11 o'clock on Friday. We'll talk to Kara about that as well, plus a whole bunch of other things when she gets here tomorrow. Nothing else going on in the chat room. I don't see that. And, also coming up, I cannot forget to mention this. The stupidest thing I read today. I think this is the craziest story I've ever heard in my entire life, but apparently Honolulu has a chicken problem. And there's a House bill that will help people deal with the chicken problem, putting the power in their hands. We'll actually talk to Marshall Brandon about this. He being a black man, me being a black man, obviously a conversation about chicken is going to come up. Just let you know that, okay? It's just this typical. Don't be fearful. I say that to all of my 7 black listeners, that you will not be offended. It'll be a very, very important conversation. Marshall's here for the white people, just so you know that, okay? All right, just so you understand that. I don't want you to get flipped out or anything. It's like, why Marshall here? For the white people, just for the white folks. You guys can tune in. You know what? In fact, Reg is here. Go tune in to Hot 93 Sim while we deal with business here, okay? We got more stuff to get into. We're going to have a good time. Oh, this is going to be, I can feel it already. Mark Christopher, he's got your first look at traffic during the show. He is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. If you're heading into Hartford, southbound 91, delays 33 down to 32 A&B. It's quiet northbound 91, Cromwell up into Winter. Both sides of 84 moving well. Farmington to Vernon, 291, 384. That's okay. 2 eastbounds in good shape, heading Glastonbury into Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. Waterbury looks good, 84 and 8. And 91 in the Parkway doing very well, heading down in toward New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
The clouds that we started to see build during the afternoon will continue to increase overnight. The low temperature 7 above. That means anything that melted or is wet is going to refreeze, especially on bridges and overpasses, parking lots, and sidewalks. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and cold. We'll have a few periods of snow in the morning. That'll accumulate 1 to 2 inches, so a few slippery spots for the morning commute tomorrow. And then a bit of snow and rain at times in the afternoon. The high temperature 42. A rain or snow shower in a few spots tomorrow night, otherwise partly cloudy, and it will dry out after midnight. The low temperature 23. Mostly cloudy on Thursday. Snow and flurries at times during the day. Little to no snow accumulation. The high temperature 39. Friday, mostly sunny, up to 39, and Saturday feeling a little bit more closer to spring-like weather, mostly sunny, up to 48 degrees. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
History. What you know about Black history?
Odyssey Harper celebrates Black History Month
Let me refresh your memory.
by honoring icons of excellence.
Carter G. Woodson launched the national effort to teach Black history in America. It's also been 50 years since this observance was formally recognized at the federal level, honoring Woodson's belief that Black history is central to all American stories. Today, this vision lies on as this history is woven into our schools, our homes, and our culture, helping us all appreciate our shared national identity.
History. What you know about Black history?
Odyssey Harper celebrates Black History Month
Let me refresh your memory.
by honoring icons of excellence.
Brought to you with pride by Goodwin University.
This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Partly cloudy skies, 31 degrees, the temperature in Hartford. And as you heard in the weather there, we got another chance for some snow around here tomorrow. And again, we'll hear from our WTIC meteorologist again coming up at about 4:08. Teenager shot over the weekend in Hartford has now died. Police say 17-year-old Camden Siegel was found unresponsive with a gunshot wound on Ann Street just before 2 a.m. Sunday. Hartford police say he was pronounced dead earlier today. Police were processing the initial scene when a man in his 20s showed up at the hospital with a gunshot wound. He is currently listed in critical but stable condition. Several Democrats are boycotting tonight's State of the Union. House Speaker Mike Johnson told CBS's Tony DeCopel
members would boycott the speech. We've never done that. It doesn't matter if there's a Democrat president. You go and respect the office. You respect the decorum, the institution, the tradition of having had this speech made. And it's sad to me that Democrats are choosing to opt out of that.
And one local expert says President Trump's speech might not be effective if he just tells Americans how great things are under his leadership, when many Americans don't feel that way. Quinnipiac University political science professor Scott McLean says former President Biden tried that approach.
Biden administration just sort of denied that it was happening, or said, look at these numbers, look at all these bright spots, prosperity's right around the corner. I don't know if Trump will do the same thing, but it didn't work well for Biden. So Trump just saying he's made America great again may ring hollow for those people who are really questioning his leadership right now.
President's address can be heard live tonight at 9 here on WTIC News Talk 1080. In a social media post today, Savannah Guthrie said her family is coming to the realization that her mother, Nancy, may be dead.
We still believe in a miracle. We still believe that she can come home.
Family is offering a reward of up to $1 million. DNA found at Nancy Guthrie's home is still being analyzed more than 3 weeks after her disappearance. Lawmakers at the state capitol heard testimony today on a bill supporters say protects workers from wage theft on state-funded contracts. The measure gives the state controller the authority to withhold payments on a project 10 days after being notified by the Department of Labor.
And the premise of this is really simple. We shouldn't be rewarding companies with taxpayer dollars who are not rewarding their employees and their workers with fair wages.
Sean Scanlon says payments would be halted until any issue is investigated and resolved. The bill fell short of passage in the House last year. The gold medal winning USA men's Olympic hockey team are just among some of the guests at tonight's State of the Union.
24-year-old Florida native Jack Hughes arrived home without some of his teeth. They were knocked out before he scored the golden goal against Canada. He was asked if he ever considered leaving the game.
In hockey, if you lose your teeth, it's not even a question of coming back and playing. That's a automatic.
The reporter then asked Hughes to smile for the cameras.
No, I'm going to fix these things. I want my good smile back.
Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
Dow up 370 points. NASDAQ ahead 236. S&P up 52. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com.
I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. A question I get all the time is, how did we become the largest injury firm in the world? We have over 1,000 lawyers in all 50 states and close to 6,000 coworkers. Our call center is on duty 24/7. You can reach us at any time at forthepeople.com. But the real reason is we won a lot. When you visit our website, go to our verdicts and settlements. There you will see what our clients were offered and what they were awarded at trial. All those verdicts help us resolve many cases fairly and early. You see, nothing beats reputation. The insurance industry knows who we are. We even have insurance adjusters call us for representation because they know too. We've made it easy. On your mobile device or computer, go to forthepeople.com and we will get busy. It's that easy. Call today. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we are here and we are live in 2 minutes. Well, 2.5 minutes. We'll get into traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center, but I want to at least introduce everybody to Marshall Brandon real quick.
1 2 1 2.
Everybody says the same thing over and over again. Why isn't your name Brandon Marshall the other way around?
Yeah, I had no control over that.
Yeah, well, that you normally wouldn't.
Exactly.
But
I'm a
for
junior.
entertainment reasons, you can turn it around.
I like it better the way.
So do I.
I like Marshall Brandon.
Yeah, so do I.
And I mean, even when people Google me, the football players still pop up anyway.
Brandon Marshall, right? Yeah.
So,
which actually, there's a long history with that. You've been doing comedy now for how long?
28 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been around.
Goodness gracious. Now, I have to ask you, just because some people may not know this, at any point during your career, did you do the Chitlin circuit where you were like doing comedy at a barbershop?
Oh, most definitely.
Or the liquor store?
Most definitely. I've been in bakeries.
Bakeries?
Yeah. I did a Bloods baby shower one time. Yeah, man.
You were a Blood gang member's baby shower.
Exactly.
You were hired for that early on in your career.
Yes, I was hired for that. Yes, I've performed everywhere. Cookouts.
What's the color scheme at a Blood's baby shower? Do you
everything
have to,
red.
Just
everything. I wore one red stripe. That was it. Cause I ain't gonna. I have a little respect. For,
exactly.
For the baby blood.
Yes, it's baby blood.
So, but yeah, it's. I've been everywhere that you on party buses.
Okay.
To Atlantic City, everywhere you could.
Do people get people have to sort of go through that, because in essence that's sort of the murders. You have to go through that in order to get any sort of recognition in this business. Is do those little quirky outfits?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's more like when you first start doing comedy, and when you're doing comedy, you're just looking to work any stage you can, because every stage is gonna make you better. So.
Yeah. And if you love it, you'll do anything. I mean, I'll admit, I love this radio thing so much. I was doing a 1-hour podcast like 20 years ago with like 3 watchers.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? It's like, I loved it so much, I just come and had to grow it every year until it turned into thousands.
Right.
And I had spent no money on promotion. I had to literally hope that word of mouth was going to sort of grow that. And then you get the gig in radio, and you remember every one of those ugly little things that you had to do in order to make it.
Yeah, most definitely.
Absolutely. I'm just, like I said, I have so many questions about comedy, about your comedy and your sort of travels through it. Also, I want your opinions about comedy today.
Okay.
If I can share that with you and talk about some of the things that you discuss, if you have a niche with the audience. Is that okay?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, I appreciate you. Marshall Brandon is here. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. If you are heading into the Hartford area right now, southbound side of I-91, just a little tight from 33 Jennings Road down to 32 A and B. After that, you're moving well, heading down into Middletown. If you are on the northbound side of 91, that is also Cromwell up into the Windsor Locks exits. Both sides of 84 moving well. Farmington out into Vernon. 2 east and westbound, no problems. East Hartford out into the Marlboro exits. If you're heading in Cheshire right now, 84 eastbound. Looks like we have an accident between exit 26 and 27 just prior to the 691 interchange. Looks like they've got the 2 right lanes shut down, the right and center lane, so stay to the left there. And actually, right now, the highway looks temporarily shut down. So keep that in mind as you head out of downtown Waterbury. A highway shut down on 84 East. If you're traveling into New Haven, 91 and the Parkway, both doing very well. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by Ollie's Bargain Outlet.
Savings! Discounts. The best bargains.
At Ollie's, we've got brand name merchandise at up to 70% off the fancy store prices every day.
I get to keep more money in my pocket.
Ollie's! Good stuff, cheap! WTIC weather.
Well, right now we have that partly sunny sky, a little bit on the breezy side, the high temperature 28. Now overnight our low temperature dropping down to 7 above, so there will be some slippery spots in the morning from the melting of the snow that occurred today. We will also have a little clipper come through and produce 1 to 2 inches of snow for the morning commute tomorrow, and then a bit of snow and rain in the afternoon. We get up to 42 degrees, so some of that snow will melt in the afternoon. A rain or snow shower in spots tomorrow night in the evening, otherwise partly cloudy, the low temperature 23. Snow and flurries at times during the day into the evening, little to no accumulation, and that is on Thursday with a high of 39. Mostly sunny, 39 degrees on Friday, and Saturday mostly sunny, up to 48 degrees. Right now it's 28 in Bristol, 31 in Meriden, and 29 degrees in Hartford. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
Have bad teeth that need to be replaced? Don't like removable dentures? Worry no more. Come on down to Columbia Implant Center in Manchester any day of the week and ask for the All-on-4 procedure. Call us at 860-643-1898.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Why choose Affordable Baths? Because they're the only ones that give you the price up front. The other guys don't. The other guys install roofs, siding, windows, and doors. Affordable Baths installs bathrooms, just bathrooms, and they use Kohler fixtures. The other guys don't. Affordable Baths has a showroom that you can see, feel, and touch what you're buying. With the other guys, you'll never see your salesperson after you sign the deal. At Affordable Baths, they're with you every step of the way. So the question is not why would you buy from Affordable Baths, it's when will you work with Affordable Baths. Keep it affordable at AffordableBaths.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
As the owner, coach, and quarterback of your small business, you call the shots. From inventory to payroll and more. Now it's time to bring in LendSeek, your funding MVP. No delay of game here. Get up to $2 million in as fast as 24 hours for business lines of credit or term loans. Let LendSeek's AI marketplace assist you in making the winning play and score that touchdown. Apply at lendseek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we are back. Marshall Brandon is in the building.
1, 2.
By the way, thank you for being here.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And I know now that you know who I am because you have lived in Hartford all of your life, I presume. So,
well, besides the time I was besides college and living in Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn, right. You had to do your stint there in the greasy, dirty, filthy borough that's known as Brooklyn. I'm sorry, I'm from Queens. I have to phrase it that way.
Right.
That dirty, filthy borough known as Brooklyn, where there is grimy as all get out.
Right, where y'all didn't go.
Yeah, that's a horrible place.
Yeah.
Anyway. So you remembered me back in the days when we used to be here when I was working with Starbuck Wild back in the Power days.
Yes.
So I'm glad that you remembered who I am, and I hope you remembered some of my funniest moments. Just saying, you're a comedian. It's nice to be accepted. You have been doing this, as you said earlier, for 28 years.
Yes.
And you've been grinding for a long time.
Yes.
Can you describe is a person from Hartford, and I'm sure your comedy comes from all different places. How Hartford plays a role in some of the comedy, if at all?
Well, being from Hartford and being like when I started doing comedy, it was like there was no scene. Really.
Okay.
And there was a few shows going on out in Massachusetts, and there was a few shows going on down in New Haven, and it was kind of like the hood over here on this side, and then it was like white folks on the other side.
Okay.
So it's kind of like being from Hartford. It gave me, I was able to perform for both crowds.
Okay.
From the very beginning. And so I
Did you seek out? Did you seek out a sort of a diverse audience in your comedy? You're like, hey, let me try it with this audience as opposed to what I might be accustomed to. Was that like a plan?
No, I was just looking for stages.
Okay.
Any stage I could get on. I didn't care what, like who the crowd was made up of.
Right.
I just wanted to tell my jokes to people.
And you thought, because the reason why I asked that is that when I was doing comedy way back in the 90s, I was always concerned about the audience, like whether or not they would get my humor. Not that it was based on demographics, like if they were white or black or Asian. I was just wondering whether or not what I thought was funny resonated with the people who were listening. Did you ever have that?
Oh, definitely. Because especially when you start, because it's like, if I had started in New York, then I might would have had a comedian that was older than me that could kind of show me the ropes. And I didn't have nobody to teach me nothing. It was like I just went off of my writing and my sense of humor, what I thought would be funny, and where I saw the
humor?
irony, the humor, and like in certain situations. And
I was just telling Roland earlier before you got here that when I do like a bit for the show. When I'm thinking about a bit, the first thing that happens is I hear the bit in my head, and if I start laughing, I know it's going to work.
Yeah.
Is that how you sort of generate it?
Sometimes,
okay.
Sometimes.
Like if you bawl out laughing, you go, "Oh, I think this is going to work."
I'm definitely like, that's going to work. And then there'll be other times where I'll be like, I know that's funny, where it don't make me laugh like that, but I'm like, that's funny. You know what I'm saying?
So would you consider your comedy a particular genre? Is it politics? Is it pop culture? Is it generational? Is it sort of what do you call it? Current events?
If I had to put a title on, I'd probably say like observational.
Okay.
Like because it's about me and it's about the things I see in the world.
Okay.
So if it happens to fall into something that happens in politics, then okay, I'll talk about it. If it happens to be something that happens in sports, I'll talk about it. But it's my set isn't based on like what's happening in the news right now,
right.
You know what I mean, to where it's just like topical or pop culture or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a little bit deeper, I think.
I remember a comedian back in the days who used to do the street circuit back in the days with Charlie Barnett. I can't remember this guy's name. Albert Brooks, I want to say it was Alfred Brooks, I think his name is. It'll come to me, but it's not the actor. Anyway, he used to sit in the park and open up the newspaper and literally riff on everything that was in the daily news. Yeah, and it was hilarious.
Yeah,
he just had
dope.
that, you know what I mean? It was like, it was an incredible talent that whatever the story was, he could turn it into comedy.
Right.
And I thought that was brilliant. Then I saw him on Showtime at the Apollo in the amateur hour, and he got booed off.
Yeah.
It was the worst. It was the worst experience ever.
Because I
felt like there was a hero. Like one of my heroes was on TV, and Sir No Sandman was pulling him off the stage. Yeah, it was awful. Speaking of, you say that you don't really get into politics and whatever you find funny. I want to ask sort of a political question about comedy. And you've done it for 28 years, so I know that you would recognize this. There was a time in comedy that people felt like certain politicians you could not make fun of. And you may know that Barack Obama, in a sense, was kind of like this unwritten rule that you couldn't make fun of him. And I felt like they were asking every other, for lack of a better way to put it, they asked every white comedian that question. Hey, why don't you make fun of Barack Obama? Everybody kind of knew the quiet answer, like what the real answer was.
Right.
Did you have that problem could you make jokes about Barack or Michelle or anything like that? Or was that something that you thought didn't go over well?
You can make a joke about anything, right?
Right.
Anything. You can find humor in anything.
Right.
Even some of the things that you shouldn't talk about. But if I could come up with something funny about it, I'm going to talk about it.
Right.
You know that, like, during the time Barack was president and everything like that, you know that like if you got like a all black crowd and everything, you know, and it's like depending on what you're talking about.
Right.
If you being disparaging, if you like doing an impersonation of them, that's always gonna work. Or you want to see Barack at the basketball game or at the cookout or something like that, you can make a joke like that, the crowd gonna love you. But if you're saying something, you know
if
that,
you're mocking him and it's putting him in a negative light,
right? You know that
that
there's
can
a
fall
chance
flat.
that the audience is gonna turn on you. You know
Right.
that there's a chance.
Yeah.
So it's like you're doing it at your own.
Right. So you're avoiding that at all costs.
Right. I mean, like there was jokes that I have that were funny that I knew that, but I know that the crowd ain't gonna go for it. You know what I mean?
So it's more, and I totally get that. It's like no one wants to bomb on stage. And if you know that you're going to be crossing that sort of line where the crowd's going to turn on you, it's a horrible set. So it's like almost every joke is a failure, even if they did laugh in the beginning.
Right. And I mean, but you still like if it's funny.
Yeah.
If it's funny, you go for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Really.
But it's like, knowing that a joke is gonna fail, it's like I look at it two ways. Like you could know like, okay, this crowd gonna turn on me.
Yeah.
But then you could also know like, I make this joke funny enough to where they don't. You know what I mean?
No, you'll take I think that's what comedy should be about. It should be about taking that risk.
Oh, yeah.
If it fails miserably, there's another show to go to.
Right.
Unless of course they're recording it, then it goes viral. Then it's another
Right.
thing.
Yeah, it's a different day and age. You don't want to.
Speaking of which, do you at your events do they stop that whole recording the events or do you?
I do. I do. I'll ask the host to tell people not to record. And then people with me will go around if somebody's recording, be like, hey, please don't record, stuff like that, because it's like I'm working on my special right now.
Yeah.
So to get out and be working on my jokes, and then it's like for somebody to record me in the audience and then post it online, it's like they're going one of my jokes. You know what I mean? Right on, now I can't use it for my special. So
yeah,
it's like. Like I record myself, and then if I decide to put a joke out or something like that, but I don't. And then in some of the shows I do, they just don't allow people to record.
That's good. I'm glad that they don't, primarily for the latter part of the reason, and that is, if you've got a special and everybody's heard the joke, then the special absolutely has no effect.
Right.
You want that special to have people sort of respond to it in real time the first time around. That's why I tell people when I have them on the show, I never tell them what I'm talking about on the show because I want their natural reaction to it.
And you got to put the jokes away after. Like once the special comes out, can't go around telling them jokes no more. So it's just like you got to make a whole new batch of jokes.
And you just walked into my next question. We got Marshall Brandon here, comedian extraordinaire right out of Hartford, touring the country and doing the darn thing for 28 years. I was talking to Roland that I come up from the comedy world where people had a niche that they would go back to. Jeff Foxworthy had You're a Redneck If.
Right.
Rodney Dangerfield had No Respect. You had Take My Wife Please. They had those sort of go-to that they would always sort of revert. Like it was usually the show closer.
Right.
Today in comedy, we don't see that. Outside of Jeff Foxworthy, who's in essence like 20, 30 years old now or older now. Do you think there's a reason why there aren't comedians who do that? Or is it because the platform or the medium has changed so much it's impossible to do that?
I don't think it's impossible.
Okay.
I think it's kind of like you gotta, because it's always like there's still comics out there with catchphrases that that they'll run. I don't particularly care for them too much.
Okay.
I do like callbacks on my jokes. You know what I mean?
Okay, I love that.
I do like calling my jokes back and stuff like that. But I think it is. Maybe the game has moved on from it in a sense, but there are comics who will be like, I got too much free time. And it's like after every joke, it's like they say something or they have like something like that. But I think that's kind of like the closest to what you're talking about.
Yeah, because I guess being old school, I noticed that trend has sort of faded off a little bit. But it's not that I don't like the comedy that's out there today. I don't like everybody. I can't like everybody because unfortunately they're just not my cup of tea for whatever reason. But I kind of miss those days of the guys who used to have that sort of running gag, if you will. It sort of made them unique to me in some way because everybody was fighting to have that sort of
get no respect.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a big Rodney Dangerfield fan.
Rodney
really?
Dangerfield is one of my favorites.
Okay, good. I grew up with him.
Right to the punchlines, one-liners. He's right to the funny.
Self-deprecating. He taught me how. What I loved about him was he taught me how to own a room by making it about me, but not in a positive way, almost like sort of poking fun at myself, because people became more comfortable with me, that I wasn't afraid to make fun of myself, because at the same time, in doing so, I can kind of make fun of other people.
Yeah.
You know, because I was sort of being even-handed with the jokes.
Right.
And I always loved that about him. He sort of taught me how to understand that little niche in comedy. What are your favorite? Who are your favorites growing up, if not today, in the biz?
Well, like of course, you got your you got Eddie and Richard.
Mm-hmm.
You got your Rodney Dangerfield is one of what I would put in that group. Dave Chappelle definitely.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few Bill Burr. I like Bill Burr.
I love Bill Burr. Is there anybody you haven't worked with who's out there today that you would love to sort of, if not open for, be on a set with?
Oh, like Martin. I haven't got
really.
Martin. I just haven't crossed paths with him yet.
Is Martin still doing stand up in any way?
He has a tour going on.
Really?
But yeah, he's somebody I haven't met. I'm really upset I didn't get to meet Bernie Mac before he passed.
You have no idea.
Yeah, that was like somebody I was really, really wanting to meet. So
I felt like, Rush Limbaugh uses this term "on loan from God." I feel that way about Bernie.
Mm.
I feel that way about Bernie Mac because he was so unique in his delivery, in his style. It was just, the Kings of Comedy. I always tell people there's a reason why you put Bernie on last.
Oh, yeah,
because
most definitely.
you know what I mean. It's like it was. I watched that whole movie and I said, not that the other comedians didn't have their ha-has, but Bernie you don't remember anybody after him.
Yeah, he's a different animal.
It was absolutely and you're right. I mean, I would have loved to have at least even sat on a live set listening to him riff for 5 minutes. I loved it. Even the TV show I watched every week, his little family comedy, because I thought he was absolutely irreverent.
Patrice O'Neal, too. He passed away. I got to meet
Patrice O'Neal, sure.
With Patrice, I thought he was like a powerhouse comedian.
So we're gonna take a break in a little bit. I want to ask you a little bit about our little funny ha-ha special. If you've got any comedian who's up and coming, I've got a whole bunch of stuff. I promise you I will not inundate you with a bunch of Dave Chappelle stuff. I'm not bringing you here so I can talk to you about other people.
That's cool.
Dave and I have a long, old relationship. I really just want to focus on you as sort of,
No, I appreciate that, man.
And to introduce you to this audience.
Yeah, all of the podcasts, all of like the interviews I do, it's like they put the clips out and it's like nothing about what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. Love being able to work.
No,
like
and I know you do. Trust me, you were when I asked, "Hey, do you know any comedians?" Reg was the first one to say, "Have I got somebody for you?" And that was all and then, of course, he played one clip. All it took was one. Yeah. And I went, oh, that's actually really funny. I think my crowd will love that. And I can tell that because, I officially like to call myself an aficionado of comedy. When I hear something and it's right, especially in the delivery. Cadence is one thing, but it's delivery that's always important. And when someone can do that delivery naturally, I think that's incredible. I know that some people are made for comedy. Not everybody's made for everything, and comedy is one of those. So if I see something, I love really recognizing that. So I appreciate you being here, so we can talk about your talent and all of that. And maybe I'll embark on you some of my humor. Maybe you can enjoy a little bit of my take on certain things in current events. I want to talk to you. Do you cover the news at all? I mean,
I definitely cover
in any meaningful way.
Yeah, I mean, I pay attention to what's going on.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
Well, good. I think it's time that we ask you a few questions.
All right,
we'll put you out there on Front Street. See what we can get out of you.
All right, let's do it.
Marshall Brandon is here. He's our guest. We'll talk to him. Let's get another check of your traffic and weather. Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon. And if you're heading into Hartford right now, not a bad ride at all. 91 southbound, you'll lose a little speed in the right lane at 32A and B. Northbound 91's quiet, crumble up into Windsor. 84 westbound, just starting to slow a little bit. 48 Capitol Avenue out to exit 46 Sisson Avenue. Eastbound 84, a little tap of the brakes in the tunnel. 2 eastbound's okay into Glastonbury. Looks good in Middletown. 9 in the Aragoni Bridge. If you're heading 84 eastbound in Cheshire, we have an accident on the left shoulder between exit 26 and 27. Use caution there. And if you're heading down in toward New Haven, 91 in the Parkway, doing okay. Look out for a crash 91 northbound in the area of exit 5 in New Haven. That's slowing you down a little bit there. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
The clouds that we started to see build during the afternoon will continue to increase overnight. The low temperature 7 above. That means anything that melted or is wet is going to refreeze, especially on bridges and overpasses, parking lots, and sidewalks. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and cold. We'll have a few periods of snow in the morning. That'll accumulate 1 to 2 inches, so a few slippery spots for the morning commute tomorrow. And then a bit of snow and rain at times in the afternoon. The high temperature 42. A rain or snow shower in a few spots tomorrow night, otherwise partly cloudy, and it will dry out after midnight. The low temperature 23. Mostly cloudy on Thursday. Snow and flurries at times during the day. Little to no snow accumulation. The high temperature 39. Friday, mostly sunny, up to 39, and Saturday feeling a little bit more closer to spring-like weather, mostly sunny, up to 48 degrees. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080. And now, a WTIC news update.
4:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Teenager shot in Hartford over the weekend has died. West Hartford resident Camden Siegel was shot on Ann Street in the wee hours of Sunday morning. The 17-year-old died this morning. Another man shot that morning is still in the hospital. Day after a blizzard dropped upwards of 30 inches of snow across Connecticut, state's cold weather protocol is getting an extension. Was originally set to expire at noon. Now the state's 211 hotline will be available through Thursday at noon to help residents get information on warming centers and other services. State House Republicans planning a public hearing in the Finance, Revenue, and Bonding Committee. It's Friday at 11 a.m. We'll talk about ending a tax on tips and overtime on the state's personal income tax. It's modeled after federal legislation that passed last year. State Office of Inspector General says a man was suffering from what a family member called an acute mental health crisis when Hartford police fatally shot him last week. 53-year-old Everard Walker. He allegedly brought out a knife during a struggle that included his son and daughter. Savannah Guthrie says her family is offering $1 million reward for information that leads to the recovery of her 84-year-old mother, Nancy. She says they're hopeful, but realizes that over 3 weeks later, she may already be gone. And NYPD is investigating after several of its officers were pelted with ice and snowballs Monday in Washington Square Park. Video shows the officers walking a pathway when they were hit. A statement says uniformed officers were struck in the face and covered with snow. The police commissioner, Jessica Tisch, called the behavior disgraceful and criminal. On Wall Street, markets finished up today after a down day Monday. The Dow gained 370 points, and NASDAQ was up 236, and the S&P was up 52. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Larry Older here. Let me share Brian's story from Alabama, my mom's home state. He tells us after taking Relief Factor for just 3 weeks, at least 90% of my pain is gone. My pain has started to limit me at work and at home, and now I'm amazed at how much relief I've gotten, end of quote. These are Brian's own words, and they speak volumes about what Relief Factor can do for you. I've told you about my buddy Tom, an avid golfer, out on the green almost every single day. He says without Relief Factor, he wouldn't be able to swing freely because of shoulder pain or back pain. But since taking it, he said he stayed active, comfortable, and confident in his swing. He is a scratch golfer. That's why I encourage you to try Relief Factor yourself and see what it can do for you. Don't wait. If you're dealing with daily pain, launch your 3-week quick start and see what Relief Factor can do for you. 800-4RELIEF, 800 the number 4RELIEF, or go to relieffactor.com. That's relieffactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain? 800-4RELIEF, relieffactor.com.
Hola amigos, Brad Evans here. Check out this booming voice and Pat Boyle on BetMGM tonight, covering the biggest sports stories from coast to coast, live and interactive on the free Odyssey app, discussing NFL offseason news and getting you ready for the madness in college hoops. BetMGM tonight with me, Brad Evans and Pat Boyle, live and interactive, Monday through Friday night starting at 6 Eastern, presented by BetMGM. Always live on the free Odyssey app and watch on YouTube at BetMGM tonight.
This year, flavor doesn't walk. It runs wild. At P.F. Chang's, we're charging into the year of the horse with bold new wok-fired dishes like pork belly bao buns and refreshing cocktails like the Midnight Gallop. P.F. Chang's beloved red envelope tradition returns, adding a surprise element to every visit during the Lunar New Year. Each guest receives a red envelope revealing a special offer redeemable on a future visit. Celebrate the Lunar New Year with flavor that runs wild at P.F. Chang's. Valid for dine-in only while supplies last. Details at pfchangs.com.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we're still here. We are live. Before we get into traffic and weather again on the 8s with Mark Christopher, we are here with Marshall Brandon, Hartford comedian, and who's traveling all around the country. Let me ask you this real quick, Marshall.
Yes,
Can comedians vote?
Yeah.
And do they? No, yeah. I got to be honest with you. I hear more people at the church pews talking about politics. And when comedians talk about politics, they never really talk about, like, you know, they're not doing that influential thing at all. Do you ever get caught up in that sort of conversation where the divide about, you know, Democrats, Republicans, liberal versus conservative? And do you even talk about that on?
I mean, I get caught in the conversations, but it's not my thing. Definitely not on stage, but like it's not my thing. I don't look upon either party very favorably.
Yeah,
so it's like I'm not like
that's a black thing.
Yeah, I'm not like, you know, it's kind of like you get caught up in the lesser of two evils.
Where have I heard that from? Every black person. Yeah. I'm just saying they just do.
I mean, but that's kind of, you know.
That's the way you sort of look at it?
Yeah, that's kind of how it feels.
Do you ever find yourself like if you have to talk about politics at all, how do you, what would you consider your approach? If there's a funny thing going on politically, are you considering your approach about just the humor or having to sort of come with some anecdote, so to speak?
I think that, I mean, you kind of want to, I just kind of would like to solve the problem in a sense.
Okay.
With, you know what I mean? With, you know, to come with an anecdote.
Right.
But also, like, if I'm just speaking on something and it's like, if I could pick something out about politics that's funny or something, you know, usually it's something that happened like that's not so
divisive.
Right, yeah, and caught up in the policies.
Right.
And everything like that. It's just like somebody, you know. Like,
you would sooner talk about the person involved in politics than the politics itself.
Right.
Do you find that sort of humor?
Definitely.
Like I can make if I'm making a joke about Ted Cruz, I can talk about him looking like Eddie Munster, like something along that line, as opposed to Ted Cruz policy on, I don't know, Venezuela. Like I would avoid that at all costs.
Right.
So I sort of make it very basic.
Yeah, because I don't get so deep into politics. So it's like my humor about politics is going to really be surface. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably why I don't. That's probably why I don't do it much. That's why I don't talk about politics as much, because it's like I don't know that my knowledge on it is so deep to be able to just really go.
Where would you, like, if you said you had, like, if you do comedy about a particular thing, let's say pop culture in particular, where would be like your sort of deep dive? Would it be sports, football, baseball, like, or music? Is it anywhere in those spaces?
Nah, it's my deep dive would be like into family, into like different emotions and stuff like that. And and talking about, and like starting off to where it's talking about you know, like you look at your life and just whatever you're going through, just look at it like this. It could be worse, you know, and then take the comedy off into that direction.
Gotcha.
Stuff like that.
Okay, so it's sort of very human interest, sort of like relatable stuff to the audience that is sitting there.
Right.
I actually love that comedy because that sort of we find the things that bind us, so to speak, and that we can relate to. That's actually a pretty good angle. All right, let's take another break real quick. We get some weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's getting you home. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. How we doing out there, Mark?
You know, we're doing really well right now, Reese. If you're heading into downtown Hartford, you're going to see just a minor slowdown as you move down by exit 32 A and B. That's about it. Northbound 91's moving very well. Cromwell up into Windsor Locks, both sides of 84. Speed limit from Farmington out into the Vernon exits. 291, 384 look good. 2 eastbounds in great shape. Glastonbury into Marlboro. If you are heading into Middletown, that looks good. 90 in the Aragodi Bridge. Waterbury is okay. 84 and 8. We're still dealing with an accident. 84 eastbound in Cheshire between exit 26 and 27 going down the Big Hill. The remains of the accident on the left shoulder, so use caution there. If you are traveling toward New Haven, 91 in the Parkway, both doing very well. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, a little bit of sun glare in the western horizon as some mid-level clouds move in. Those clouds will continue to increase, and we will see a bit of snow, and that will be tomorrow morning. We start out at a temperature of 7 degrees, so that means there are going to be some slippery spots where any of the snow melted today. The high temperature tomorrow, 42, but we have to get through 1 to 2 inches of snow in the morning from this little clipper system coming through that will cause a couple of slippery spots on the road. But by the afternoon, with a little bit of rain and snow, that will definitely be out of here with a high of 42. So don't have to worry about any slippery spots on the way home from work. Tomorrow night, a rain or snow shower in spots, otherwise partly cloudy down to 23. And on Thursday, mostly cloudy, a couple of flurries, maybe a brief period of snow. Little to no snow accumulation on Thursday, the high temperature up to 39. Right now, it's 28 in Willimantic, 27 in Waterbury, and 28 degrees in Hartford. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
Even if you've given up on your New Year's resolution, one health habit that's easy to keep is Active Liver. From New Nordic, Active Liver protects your liver so you can enjoy life to the fullest. Online at Amazon or in stores at CVS, Wegmans, and now GNC.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My best advice to you when hiring a lawyer for your injury case is simple. If you know court personnel, ask them who they'd hire. They know. If you know an insurance adjuster, ask them. They know. And then ask them about us. Ask them about Morgan & Morgan. They know. I look forward to talking to you soon. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm for the people. Injured? Dial Pound Law.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
Larry Older here. You know, one of the most rewarding parts of sharing Relief Factor with you is hearing real stories like that of Sandra. She tells us, I've been hearing about Relief Factor on the radio for a couple of years, and I finally decided to try it because nothing else was helping my back pain. I know the feeling. With a 3-week quick start, she said, I went for it. Now I feel like a new person. That's Sandra's own words, and it's so gratifying to hear. I've told you about my brother Kirk, having difficulty going up and down the stairs in the morning. He wouldn't listen to me. I told him to take Relief Factor. He finally did. Began moving better, feeling stronger. Too bad he didn't listen earlier. Try it for yourself. The 3-week quick start. And see how Relief Factor could be your game changer too. It is only $19.95. Think about it. Do the math. Less than $1 a day. So call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800, the number 4RELIEF, or go to relieffactor.com. All one word, relieffactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain? 800-4RELIEF, relieffactor.com.
The NAACP calls him, whoa, I don't think I'm allowed to read this. It's Reese on the Radio. Let's just say some people are not fans. On News Talk 1080, WTIC.
NAACP is never, ever going to be a fan. But I hear the Urban League is coming out to come hang out with Reese on the Radio. Maybe one of these black outfits will be my friend. That's okay. Marshall Brandon is here. Yeah, the African-American community has called me everything from Uncle Tom's sellout to a traitor to my race.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, I love every bit of it. Right, absolutely. Yeah. No, I want no fans, no friends.
Right.
I'm not trying. As soon as you become fans and friends, when you really need them, they are nowhere to be found. That's so I'd rather they be in the background. That my deal is I love people for who they are, not what they look like. So, that's just who the show is. And I like I said, I love your comedy, and I love you coming in. Thank you for that. So we're going to be doing this thing called the Funny Ha Ha Comedy Show coming in May. We'd love you to headline if you know.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay, well, we're going to be setting that up for you. We're going to make sure you get paid. It won't be a charity event, I promise.
I know.
Make sure you get a check.
I know that for sure.
We will not be asking you for charitable jokes.
Right.
We're going to get you paid in order to do that, so we're going to set that up very, very soon. I love the fact that you said you don't really deep dive into politics because, you know, you believe in sort of bringing people together through sort of like a common thread. Like, no matter what walk of life we come from, we all have something in common.
Right.
And I try to get that understood. I know I'm a partisan guy. People know that I am. I talk about my politics in a very partisan way. But I also know what people are to its core, right? And who people are to their core. I know what they want to do. They want to provide for their family. They want to live the best life they possibly can. They want their kids to live a better life than they did. And that is a sort of uniting thing. And if we just get past all the rigmarole, we could just get to that. But since we can't, hell, I'll go to war.
Right.
That's just who I am. I don't care.
Right.
But you just believe in that. Tell me, how did you have to come to that, or was that always your comedy style? Because I always feel like comedians evolve into something.
Oh, yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, definitely. I had to grow into that.
Okay.
Because when you first start doing comedy, it's like anything that can make people laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Fart jokes if you got to do them.
Right. If I can talk about this song, if I can talk about that, anything that I can find humorous that people are going to identify with quickly to to make them laugh. And then you kind of start, and then as you get older in the game and stuff like that, you start talking about yourself more, start opening up more about who you are, where you come from, and things you like, things you don't like, and while talking about other things that are going on in the world, but it's just not as, like, I probably look at, like, if you say laughs per minute, right? Years ago, I probably got more laughs per minute, but I look back at the material and it's not stuff I would talk about today.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, whereas I'm like looking to get three big a big laugh, get a chuckle 15, a big laugh 30, and another 45, and a big laugh at 60 seconds. Yeah, I might drop a couple of those out just because I feel like I'm saying something a little more important or talking about something.
That evolution, does it come from your delivery changing, you getting older, or sort of like having a mission statement as Marshall Brandon? Like, are you saying, this is what I want people to know about me as a comedian?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, definitely sometimes, but I think it's just more of, they always talk about finding your voice. I never knew what, I didn't know what that
meant, yeah.
but then, I mean, ultimately it came to me to be like, well, if it's my voice, it's the same voice that me and you are having this conversation with right here. And so I would like to be able to do my comedy like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be on stage like, and it still works for some comedians and stuff like that. But I kind of just want to have a conversation with my audience.
Do you ever not listen to other comedians because you just don't want to bite their style? The reason why I ask that is because as a radio host, we're a million of us, in the business. I stay far away from anything anybody else is doing. No offense, but it's also the reason why I lead this pack. But I don't try to listen to them because I'm always concerned with if they're sort of little thing that they do or something like that I might sort of inject that into what I do. Do you ever find yourself trying to ignore them, or do you like comedy so much that you will listen to everyone?
I don't really like comedy that much on a
really?
Level of like watching. Like, I don't watch everybody. There are definitely comedians that I'll watch
because you know that they're good and
they're good. I'll enjoy them. You know what I mean? But comedy is it's really saturated now. So it's like everybody's a comedian in a sense, and so it's like I'm not looking to be like, oh, it's comedy, let me watch it. You know what I mean? So it's like I know the people that I like, I watch, and I don't worry about anything they're doing. Me adding that
because they have a distinctive style that's different from
my
yours.
Style. So I don't not watch comedy because I don't want to take anybody's style or take anything from anybody. I just watch who I like.
Talk to me a little bit about your writing, and I know you don't just write comedy in general? Have you've written for television or?
Yeah, I wrote for Comedy Knockout, and I wrote for a show called Laugh Track.
Okay, I remember both.
Yeah.
What was, in essence, there you're writing for other people?
Yeah.
What is that like? I almost feel like it's shadowing a comedian, and you're thinking this joke would work great with that person. How do you do that? I had to write jokes for somebody a long time ago, and I'll be honest with you, they were all failures because I thought that I could get the person, and they sucked. It was just awful.
If I'm and I've written for a couple of comedians here and there, but and most of the time when I did that, it was helping them with their structure in the joke. It was
okay,
and then it was like if I had to build the joke, it was kind of like, well, what are you looking to talk about here? And then I would just build the joke based on that. My sister was a English major, and my grandfather was a preacher, but he knew every word in the dictionary. He's like one of the smartest people I ever met. My sister, my aunt, him and my sister, they know every word in the dictionary. And so when I was a kid, I first started writing papers and stuff, my sister would mark them up like the teacher. You know what I mean? And so that's where I learned how to write.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that something did you enjoy doing that? Because I know you don't do it. Do you still do it at all? I was under the impression you don't do it that much anymore.
When I write, every time I've written for a television show or written something like that, it's like I appreciate that check that's coming, but but it's like I'm writing like I should be writing for myself right now. You know what I mean? I should be creating for myself, and so it's not that I appreciate the writing jobs. It's not like I would turn one down if somebody offered me one, but I'm not actively seeking them because I know it's not like really what I want out of this game.
I hear you. So you born and bred, I'm assuming, in Hartford?
Yeah, Hartford, Connecticut.
Just Hartford, Connecticut?
Well, yeah.
Give a shout out to the old block if you have to.
Oh, yeah. Blue Hills Avenue, Town Avenue.
Okay. Okay. And you
North End, the whole North End.
Okay, the whole North End.
But I did. I lived in Hartford. I went to elementary and middle school. Hartford, and then we moved out to the suburbs. I went to Windsor High School.
Did you go to Windsor?
Yeah, I went
hell
to
of a football a program out in Windsor.
You know what I'm saying?
Whoa, it was garbage when you were there?
Yeah, when we was there, we was getting we got beat pretty badly every year.
They've got a hell of a program
now.
now.
They definitely do.
Yeah, it's like it's serious over there in Windsor.
They've been doing pretty well over there for some years.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's been a
couple
while.
of my old high school friends are involved in the program. So
absolutely,
shout out to them definitely.
So, okay, so you move out of Hartford, you move to the suburbs, and you go to Windsor, and I'm assuming there's a college opportunity there. Where'd you go to college?
Western Connecticut State University, down in Danbury.
Western what?
Connecticut
State University in Danbury.
Yeah.
What year was that?
That would have been, I graduated in 92 from high school, so that would have been like 93.
Okay, all right. So 93 in Danbury. You didn't go that far from home.
No, I
What'd
didn't.
you study there?
Criminal justice. Got my.
That's right.
my
I did hear that.
Yeah.
It was criminal justice. So you had an uncle locked up too.
I had a couple of family members locked up. But I wanted to be a lawyer.
Did you really?
Yeah, I wanted to be a lawyer. So.
Please tell me what derailed that.
My daughter. I got my daughter's mother pregnant my senior year.
Oh, do you blame her all the time?
No,
I'm teasing.
Nah, even though she did it on purpose.
No.
I don't know.
No, I would. No, me and my kids, I would have blamed them every day. Daddy would have been a lawyer. But so okay, so you decided, and then was that sort of what was the spark that grew to comedy? Like what was? Did somebody just say hey, come down and tell a few jokes?
No, I tried it when I was in college. They had a contest for the students.
Okay.
And when I tried it, I just was like, I'm gonna go talk about this. I didn't prepare anything.
Like no jokes. You were gonna go freestyle off the top of the head kind of deal.
I kind of had like, I'm gonna talk about this, talk about that. I didn't prepare to talk about it. And when I was on stage, it kind of felt like when you're taking a test and you're like, damn, if I'd have studied a little bit, I would have, I could have got an A easy on this. And that's what it felt like with the comedy. And so the next year, I came in third place that year. The next year, I went and I prepared myself and I won the competition. And then they asked me to host this show, like kind of like the Apollo for the school, so where they booed the students off stage. And I did comedy at the beginning, and after all the administrative students, they're like, yo, you really can do comedy. And so after I graduated, I just started getting on stage anywhere I could.
It's an incredible story in the sense of that prepared part. Like you win third place everyone thinks that you're funny. You try it again, you win the whole thing, and then everybody from there it just completely. And were you surprised at? It's not just a reaction. Were you surprised at how gifted you turned out to be in this thing? Like, or did you always kind of know you were funny, but didn't know that you could do it in this particular way?
You know, I have been watching comedy since I was like 6 years.
Yeah,
old.
of course.
You know what I mean? Like I was like I would watch comedy instead of cartoons when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And my dad hit the mega bucks for like 50 G's, and all we got out of that was carpet, cable, and a floor screen TV. And he spent the rest of
like the hardcore big giant floor model.
Yeah, the big
wow,
like a nice little box TV.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day it was big, but you know.
I saw a guy. I saw a guy dragging one across Utica Avenue in Brooklyn with no dolly, just scraping it on the ground.
Dang.
And I'll never forget that day. So he bought this TV, and then with that, your cable so you could watch comedy.
HBO, and then all the comedy that was
half-hour comedy hour kind of deal.
All that stuff. Like I remember seeing Ellen DeGeneres' first, Women of the Night. First her debut on HBO. A few different comics.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I got out to watch a lot of Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah.
And they had Comic Strip Live too. So it was a lot of comedy that I got, and I always loved it. But I could never figure out how to make a joke until I got older.
Yeah.
And so by that time, around college time, when I figured out, like, when I was like, okay, these jokes are working, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, no, I'm going to do this. So it was kind of like, after that second time I tried it, I knew that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I'm going to graduate, but I'm doing comedy.
It's an incredible story in the sense of this is something you don't see coming your way. Of course, you grew up loving it, and then someone gives you an opportunity, and it turns out that it's just a natural fit. Yeah. Radio was just like when I was 15 years old. I'll never forget it. That's exactly. I had a Z Morning Zoo that was on. I thought these guys were hilarious. Not that I thought I was funny in that way, but I thought they were so funny. I was like, I want to be funny like them.
Right.
And then I was telling jokes in school. I was telling jokes anywhere I could, and then people were like, yeah, I think that guy's actually funny. Not that I would have ever, like, being a comedian, doing my first gig, I got booed off stage in my first big debut. I got booed off stage because I've told a very, very off-color joke about the first female condom. I'll tell you off the air what it was about. But it was funny, but I got booed. And I never went back to it.
Oh, wow.
Ever. It was enough to say, nope, not your niche. But then I got radio, and I figured I'd try that. And turns out that my comedy works better on air. Here than it does on stage.
Right. I got lucky. I was one comedian. The first show I ever did, first show after college, one of my college friends put the show on, and so he was like, "Hey, you could come perform here." And so he asked one of the comedians to talk to me, and the comedian sat me down. And he don't even remember having this conversation with me, but he said, one, he said it's not an overnight thing. He said, two, you're gonna bomb. He said, two, people gonna steal your jokes, and he said, three, you're gonna bomb. He said, but you're only good as your last show. He said, so if you bomb, you just got to get back up on stage. He said, everybody bombs.
Yeah.
And and shortly after that, I had a bunch of shows where I just bombed, but I kept that in the back of my mind. And so it's like, and bombing, like, it makes you better. Like, you don't get better doing great all the time. It's like you get better when you have those shows where you're like, I don't want to ever have a show like that.
Right.
So you go back and you hit that notebook and you prepare yourself so that you don't, and you can't. There's always one lurking around the corner, but you can get your batting average up pretty high.
Yeah. No one's ever learned a thing by getting it right.
Right.
Right. That's one of my mottos. You got to make those mistakes in order to figure it out. See, and we got through this conversation in an hour, and not once did I mention Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, man.
You're loving me for that?
Man. Yeah, I'm proud of you, man.
Okay, because I know, this is about you, and I appreciate you. I know that you've opened for him, and I know you have a storied career having worked with him. But I wanted to get an opportunity to meet you, get the audience to introduce you to this audience, because we're going to do this comedy special. I want everybody to come out to come see it when we set it up, and I wanted this to be the bridge of a relationship where we can bring you back when you're in town.
Oh, yeah,
and would love to have you if you know.
Come back.
Thank you. I would love to have you here. And I don't get a lot of interviews with people in the comedy world, but it's my favorite sort of medium outside of politics. But I appreciate you coming by.
I'll brush up on my politics too. So
don't do that. Don't do that. We love
can
you
argue.
just the way Not going to do that. Nope. I want to keep this relationship. We start arguing about politics, you'll never come back. Absolutely. I appreciate you. Marshall, Brandon, everybody, thank you very much for being here. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher is here. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're Route 2 eastbound in Glastonbury, we have some emergency road work that's taking out the left and center lanes between exit 5 and 6. Stay to the right there. Earlier accident there this afternoon. I'm guessing maybe some guardrail repair in that area. I know that's a construction zone right now. So look for delays back to exit approaching 4A behind that. If you're heading elsewhere in the Hartford area, everything is quiet. 84, 91, Route 2. Westbound, that is, 291, 384, okay. If you're heading into Middletown, no issues there. 9 in the Aragodi Bridge. Quiet Waterbury, good ride toward New Haven on 91 in the Parkway. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
The clouds that we started to see build during the afternoon will continue to increase overnight. The low temperature 7 above. That means anything that melted or is wet is going to refreeze, especially on bridges and overpasses, parking lots, and sidewalks. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and cold. We'll have a few periods of snow in the morning. That'll accumulate 1 to 2 inches, so a few slippery spots for the morning commute tomorrow. And then a bit of snow and rain at times in the afternoon. The high temperature 42. A rain or snow shower in a few spots tomorrow night, otherwise partly cloudy, and it will dry out after midnight. The low temperature 23. Mostly cloudy on Thursday. Snow and flurries at times during the day. Little to no snow accumulation. The high temperature 39. Friday mostly sunny up to 39, and Saturday feeling a little bit more closer to spring-like weather. Mostly sunny up to 48 degrees. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
This is an important public service announcement for our listeners. Reese on the Radio is also a podcast. You can find us anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Catch the full episode, listen by individual hour, or jump straight to the highlights. Just open up your favorite podcast app, search Reese on the Radio, and hit the follow button so you can get every minute of the show your way and on your time. This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the Radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
5 o'clock, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. President Trump delivers his State of the Union to a joint session of Congress tonight. More from the White House and correspondent Linda Kenyon.
The president is expected to focus on domestic issues like the economy, even as tensions grow with Iran and the war continues in Ukraine. The State of the Union address follows the Supreme Court's recent ruling invalidating most of Trump's tariffs. Many of the justices who ruled against the tariffs are expected to attend the president's speech. Many Democrats say they will not, while others may attend but are expected to demonstrate their opposition to Trump's policies, including immigration. Others will call attention to the Epstein files. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
The polls show the Trump administration policies not clicking with most moderates. Quinnipiac University political science professor Scott McLean does not expect Trump to back down from any of his hardline positions at tonight's speech. Still, he says 13 months into a second term, it would be effective to stop blaming the previous administration.
I think the blaming Biden sort of response probably worked for the first 6 months. I think it got less traction in the most recent 3 months. People have started to say, you've had time to do some of the things you said you would accomplish on day one.
McLean also says Trump may be at risk of repeating a mistake made by the former president, Biden, declaring everything was great when most Americans aren't feeling that way. You can hear the president's speech live here on WTIC News Talk 1080 beginning at 9. Nearly 24 people were displaced following a fire today in New Haven. Around 11 that is, had to be rescued from the flames. Call came in around 11:30, the 5-story structure on Chapel Street. Officials say the fire started on the 3rd floor, spread to the upper floors. No word yet on a cause. Teenager who was shot early Monday morning at a street in downtown Hartford has died. Camden Siegel was 17. He was found unresponsive on Ann Street a little before 2 on Sunday morning, taken to an area hospital. His death was announced earlier today by Hartford police. There have been no arrests thus far. On another front, a male in his 20s brought to the hospital with a gunshot wound right around the same time. While police process that initial scene, remains hospitalized in critical but stable condition. There's a bill in the state legislature that would crack down on so-called wage theft by contractors. The state controller would be notified when a contractor is in violation of wage laws, that is. The controller would then have the authority to halt payments on projects 10 days after being notified by the Labor Department, and an investigation is completed and any penalties meted out. Kim Glassman is Director of Compliance and Government Affairs for Local 478 of the International Union of Operating Engineers.
Wage theft does exist. It is a part of how unscrupulous companies make money. And there's no panacea to wage theft, but all of these proposals help deter companies from breaking the law and from hurting working people here in the state of Connecticut.
Bill just missed passing last year when time ran out on the session. And a plane whose flight originated in Miami was found with a bullet hole in the wing on Monday.
An American Airlines 737 MAX 8 was found with an apparent bullet hole in the right wing's aileron, while the plane was in Medellin, Colombia yesterday. That according to sources familiar with the matter and documents reviewed by CBS News. The aileron controls the roll of the aircraft. The plane flew from Miami to Medellin last evening as Flight 923. American says there were no injuries and no flight-related issues. Temporary repairs were made, allowing the plane to return to the U.S. with passengers.
Correspondent Jennifer Kuiper. Wall Street, the Dow finished up 370 points. NASDAQ gained 236. S&P was up 52. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right. Thank you, Marshall Brandon, for being here today. We are going to have him as our headliner at the Funny Ha Ha comedy show that's coming to a location in Farmington very soon. I think most of you already know where it is. But that's going to be happening in May. We're going to be working on that. We're going to build a beautiful relationship with him. I just sat here and just made sure that we talked about him. Everybody always asks him about Dave Chappelle. I know enough about Dave Chappelle. And plus, I don't want people to snitch. That's just ridiculous. Let's do some music news. News. Also, by the way, if you want to check out Marshall Brandon's comedy, go to marshallbrandon.com. In music news today, Rupert Holmes. He turned 79 today. He is the singer-songwriter behind the 1979 80s smash hit Escape. You might know it as the Pina Colada song. Paul Jones, Manfred Mann, turns 84. He's the lead singer of the 1964 hit Do-Wah-Diddy-Diddy-Dum-Diddy-Doo. Chad Hugo, he is one of the producers of the Neptunes. He turns 52 today. And George Thorogood turned 76. Of course, he is famous for the song Bad to the Bone and Moving On Over. In anniversaries for music, we've got 50 years ago, the Eagles compilation, their greatest hits, 1971 to 75 album, became the first certified platinum album by the RIAA, released just a week earlier, I should say. Again, it was the first to ever go platinum. 51 years ago, Led Zeppelin released their 6th studio album in 1975. And 58 years ago, Fleetwood Mac, then known as Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac, released their self-titled debut studio album. This blues rock album featured Howlin' Wolf, Robert Johnson, and Elmore James. Plus, it was the first album, and only album, that did not have Christine McVie as a part of the band. Yeah. So there is your music news for today. Mark Christopher, he's getting you home. He is the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. None of those albums seem to, not even George Thorogood is in your wheelhouse, sir.
No.
Nah.
Did you say you talking about Fleetwood Mac?
Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac is definitely in my wheelhouse.
Well, that much I remember. So apparently in their debut album, when it was called Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac, the only album that this is the only Fleetwood Mac album that did not have Christine McVie.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's so sad because they just said we're not touring anymore now that Christine has passed. But I saw them at the, back then it was the XL Center, the People's Bank Arena, and one of the best shows I ever saw. I don't know if it's 7, 8, 10 years ago. Time just flies, but...
It's hard to believe that the Eagles, actually, on this note, the Eagles had a greatest hits album 50 years ago?
Yeah. Biggest selling album of all time.
Yeah, no.
From what I understand.
Yeah, it was the first album to be registered as RIAA Platinum.
Yeah. I mean, what is that, 10 million?
No, 1 million.
Well, was it 1 million?
Yeah.
No, it's just that was the first one registered for 1 million in sales.
Exactly.
Okay. But that is the biggest selling album of all time.
Yes,
in the
it
United
is. That's
States.
right. In fact, it just beat Michael Jackson. It goes back and forth between the two.
Thriller. Right,
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, great. Oh, my God, the Eagles. What can you say? The Eagles are pretty good. Hey, if you're heading into Glastonbury right now, 84 eastbound between exit 5 and 6, we have some emergency road work. That's taking out the left and center lanes there, and that's in a construction area, so it's already tight through there. Stay to the right. Looks like delays are approaching exit 4A behind that. Also affecting Route 3 northbound as you try to transition to Route 2 east and west by 13B and C. So some slow traffic there. Downtown, we're doing okay. Westbound 84 is a little slow. Bulky Bridge out to exit 46. Sisson, eastbound 84, barely a slowdown in the tunnel. 291 through 84 moving well. Quiet Middletown. Looks good in Waterbury. 91 in the Parkway. No issues heading down toward New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by Ollie's Bargain Outlet.
The smartest people on earth know how to spot a good deal. That's why they shop at Ollie's first. You'll save up to 70% off the fancy store's prices. So you go, you smart and savvy shopper. You know where the real deals are, where they sell good stuff cheap.
Ollie's! Good stuff cheap! WTIC weather.
Well, we see some of that mid and high-level clouds starting to move in. That is a sign of a storm system moving in our direction. We drop down to a low tonight of 7 above, so we will have some slippery spots, simply the refreezing of any melted snow today. We also have a period of snow early tomorrow morning, anywhere between about 4 and 8 a.m. We'll have 1 to 2 inches of snow, which will interrupt the morning commute a bit. And then a bit of snow and rain in the afternoon with a high temperature all the way up to 42 degrees tomorrow. Tomorrow night, rain or snow shower in spots in the evening, otherwise partly cloudy, down to 23 degrees. So dealing with the same issue of the refreezing of melted snow. Thursday, mostly cloudy, a little bit of snow flurries at times late in the day. Little to no snow accumulation, the high 39. Friday, more sunshine than clouds, up to 39 degrees. Saturday's high all the way up to 48 with a mix of sun and clouds. And a little bit colder on Sunday, but still above freezing, the high temperature 39 and considerable cloudiness. Outside right now, the temperatures range from 26 in East Granby to 31 in Cheshire and 28 degrees in Hartford. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you.
Injured? Dial pound law.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
Here's
History. What you know about Black history?
Odyssey Harper celebrates Black History Month.
Let me refresh your memory.
By honoring icons of excellence.
Carter G. Woodson launched the national effort to teach Black history in America. It's also been 50 years since this observance was formally recognized at the federal level, honoring Woodson's belief that Black history is central to all American stories. Today, this vision lies on as this history is woven into our schools, our homes, and our culture, helping us all appreciate our shared national identity.
History. What you know about Black history?
Odyssey Harper celebrates Black History Month.
Let me refresh your memory.
By honoring icons of excellence.
Brought to you with pride by Goodwin University.
Let's take a step back in time to an era when things were built right, built to last, and a handshake meant something. Yankee Home delivers that same craftsmanship still today. If your bathroom has moldy corners, dingy grout lines, broken tiles, and rust stains, it's time to call Yankee Home. You can have a brand new, bright, beautiful bathroom in as little as one day. From design to demo, plumbing to final product, our team will transform your bath fast. Every job is done right the first time. Never cattywampus. Take advantage of our winter special with 50% off installation plus 0 down and 0% interest. Call Yankee Home at 1-800-885-HOME. That's 1-800-885-HOME. Or visit yankeehome.com. That's yankeehome.com.
Yankee Home makes it easy as can be with our never cattywampus lifetime guarantee. Yankee Home.
On approved credit, restrictions apply.
When was the last time you watched your home movies?
Disasters strike unexpectedly. Every year, American families lose the one thing they'd run back into a burning building for, their family's memories. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Adam. We started Legacy Box to help save your family's most important recorded moments so you don't have to worry.
Load Legacy Box with your old movies, film reels, and shoeboxes of photos.
We work our digitizing magic, converting those memories right to the cloud so they're safe and accessible forever.
It's fast, we always send your originals back, and it's done right here in the USA.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box. Better Homes and Garden, Real Simple, and Inc. magazine are all talking about Legacy Box.
New York Times columnist David Pogue says, have them digitized. I wish I'd done it sooner. Take action. Save your family's memories today with Legacy Box.
Go to legacybox.com/value to get an incredible 50% off your Legacy Box. That's legacybox.com/value for 50% off while supplies last. legacybox.com/value.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
There's a story that I needed to get into. I'll get to the phone calls in a second. Stand by for that. Tomorrow, guest on the show is Cara D'Amato. Representative Cara D'Amato is going to be on the program tomorrow. We'll talk to her about a slew of things, of course, about her jacket that was at the first legislative session that created all of that hubbub. We'll get to that as well. Tonight, we, of course, have the State of the Union with President Trump. There is going to be a People's Republic State of the Union tonight as well. We'll, of course, cover both. We'll see exactly what took place, and we'll highlight the points where they are highlighted. We'll get into all of that as well. You guys may not be familiar with the man I'm going to mention, but he is, unless you're really, really deep in the weeds, this man's name is Daniel Richman. And Daniel Richman wrote an op-ed piece today. What's today? 24th? I apologize. Yesterday. He wrote an op-ed. If you're watching at ReeseOnTheRadio.com or on YouTube, you see that guy's face right there. Richman wrote a piece for the New York Times. But before I get to what he wrote, I want to read who he is. Daniel Richman is a longtime close friend and confidant, an informal advisor to former FBI Director James Comey. How you would know the name Daniel Richman is because his most relevant prior role in public controversies is in 2017, where after President Trump fired James Comey, Richman served as the deliberate intermediary when Comey leaked his own memos about private conversations with Trump to the New York Times. Comey admitted under oath that he gave the memos to Richman specifically so that Richman could share them with a reporter with the goal of prompting a appointment of a special counsel. That leak helped fuel the Russia investigation into Donald Trump's so-called or believed involvement with Russia. Richman has maintained his close ties to the paper, the New York Times, ever since then, which prompted him writing this essay in the New York Times. What is the essay, you ask? Well, going right down the road that Reese on the Radio was going on for months now, and just yesterday mentioned, the headline in the New York Times article reads, "The Epstein files should have never been released." Go figure. The Epstein files should have never been released. Richman, a James Comey crony who writes with the New York Times, has a relationship with the New York Times, writes an article that says the Epstein files should have never been released. What's his argument, you say? The obvious. Richman has a problem with you having unfettered access to the files. What Richman is arguing is that it should have been leaked out by the government, giving you the information that they saw fit. He says you having unfettered access has kind of created a problem for people outside of the scope, which is Donald Trump. You see, because you have access, now you know all the dirty secrets. Richman believes that this should have been left to the government so they can pick and choose what they get to give to the audience, give to the American people. Here, we want you to have this. Here, we want you to have that. Here's a little spice. Here's a little dose of that. Now that you can see whatever you want, you get to make the decision on your own on what's relevant and what is not. And also, you get to expose the people that Richman here is obviously stating is bad for them. All the people who have had to resign, all of the people who have been implicated in the files. Richman here is upset because, as he put it, there are some people who just may have been, in a peripheral sense, involved in the Epstein files, but now they face widespread scrutiny for just being there, much like Whoopi Goldberg is dealing with. You see, there used to be a standard. You're in the files, you're dirty. You're in the files, you were the one that was involved in all the scandal. And now Daniel Richman here is upset that they've been released. The thing that they said that they were going to do, that everybody else was screaming and hollering about, now they're angry that some of their own buddies and pals have been ensnared. And the New York Times would put up this article is laughable. You know, this got vetted. That's why they had somebody put it as an essay. They couldn't let one of their own reporters admit the obvious. And the obvious is we have buyer's remorse. When it was working for us, when we could implicate Donald Trump without any core evidence, it was fantastic. It was ruining him. And then he released everything, 3.5 million files. And all of our favorite people are getting fired. All of our favorite people are having to resign. All of our favorite people, our buddies, our pals, women even, are getting ensnared. You want to hear the crazy part? Try this on for size. Try this on for size. This is how crazy all of this is. So I see this piece on X. You guys know Ro Khanna? Ro Khanna is a senator, I think he's out of California. And he's bragging about who he's inviting to the State of the Union today, while trying to scream and holler about who hasn't been arrested because of the Epstein files. Ro Khanna in this piece goes on to say there are thousands of people who have thousands of people who have been harmed by Jeffrey Epstein and his cronies. So in essence, there are thousands of people that Ro Khanna could have chosen to be at the State of the Union. I want you to listen to what he says.
Today, Great Britain arrested Lord Mendelsohn because of his alleged ties to Epstein. Isn't it ironic that Thomas Massey and I forced the release of the Epstein files here in the United States of America, but there's no action in America, but action everywhere else in the world? Former Prince Andrew is being investigated and prosecuted in Britain. In Norway, they are investigating and prosecuting a former prime minister. In France, they are investigating and prosecuting government officials and business leaders. But nothing here in the United States of America. Our FBI Director, Kash Patel, flew for the Olympics to Italy, drinking with our hockey team. Our Attorney General, Pam Bondi, is hurling insults to members of Congress. But they've forgotten about the survivors, the thousands of survivors who just want justice.
The thousands of survivors who just want justice.
Robeson just wants justice. That's why I'm inviting her as my guest tomorrow. Robeson just wants justice.
Sorry, I want to get you to get that name. I interrupted it.
Forgotten about the survivors, the thousands of survivors who just want justice. Haley Robeson just wants justice.
Haley Robeson just wants justice. Ro Khanna says.
That's why I'm inviting her as my guest tomorrow at the State of the Union.
And that tells you everything you need to know. Ro Khanna said that there are thousands of victims. He chose a young lady by the name of Haley Robeson. Well, when I saw the name, I thought that was odd. I know that name. Why do I know that name? And there's a reason why I know that name. And I don't feel happy knowing that I know this name. But Haley Robeson is a criminal. She's a criminal. And everybody knows she is. Was she a victim? Absolutely. There is no doubt that she was. But what did Haley Robeson do for 2 whole years? Haley Robeson was a recruiter. And she admits it on tape. And of all the people that Ro Khanna could deliver to the State of the Union, he picked her. There are plenty of women who have come forward, but he chose her. And the interweb is gone nuts about it. Ro, you couldn't vet another person? Many of the girls who you're talking about who were harmed were recruited by Haley Robeson. And it is documented to be true. She has admitted it openly that she committed crimes. She referred to herself, ladies and gentlemen, as, quote, Heidi Fleiss. For those of you who remember who Heidi Fleiss is. Are these people ahead of their skis? Are these people this dumb? Because this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. that he would go on the record saying that the person he's, again, with thousands of victims and plenty of women who have come forward, who have been in press conferences, this is who he chose. Nobody on his staff did any research on this? That's sad. But there you go. I told you, I don't understand this. I don't know how many times I've got to explain it to you folks. Be careful what you wish for. Even the New York Times is acknowledging it now. But don't worry. I didn't need you to tell me that I was right. I already knew I was. I told you that. I did not need your confirmation. I didn't. It was deep inside my soul I knew I was right. It's nice to be recognized, though, because you know where you heard it first. We got to take a break. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. We'll get to your phone calls as well before we wrap this puppy up. And go on home and wait for more snow. Boo! Boo! More snow. What are the roads looking like out there, Mark Christopher? He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center.
Overall, we're looking pretty good, Reese. Thank you very much. Westbound 84, you've got delays coming out of the Hartford Tunnel out to exit 45 Flatbush. Eastbound side of 84, no issues. Farmington out into Vernon. Both sides of 91, easy ride. Cromwell up into Windsor Locks. 291, 384 looking good. Two eastbounds moving well. Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown, no issues in Waterbury, 84 and 8. And if you are traveling on the northbound side of the Wilbur Cross Parkway, looks like we have an accident now between approaching exit 46 in New Haven. So delays there just north of exit 42B in Orange. So between 42B and 46, look out for that accident. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
The clouds that we started to see build during the afternoon will continue to increase overnight. The low temperature 7 above. That means anything that melted or is wet is going to refreeze, especially on bridges and overpasses, parking lots, and sidewalks. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and cold. We'll have a few periods of snow in the morning. That'll accumulate 1 to 2 inches, so a few slippery spots for the morning commute tomorrow. And then a bit of snow and rain at times in the afternoon. The high temperature 42. A rain or snow shower in a few spots tomorrow night. Otherwise partly cloudy, and it will dry out after midnight. The low temperature 23. Mostly cloudy on Thursday. Snow and flurries at times during the day. Little to no snow accumulation. The high temperature 39. Friday, mostly sunny, up to 39, and Saturday feeling a little bit more closer to spring-like weather, mostly sunny, up to 48 degrees. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080. And now, a WTIC news update.
5:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva. Among the guests of President Trump at tonight's State of the Union address, the USA men's Olympic hockey team, fresh from their win over Canada Sunday in the gold medal game. Also, Erica Kirk, the wife of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk, who was gunned down at an appearance last September at Utah Valley University. Quinnipiac University political science professor Scott McLean says he doesn't expect the president to back off his more extreme policies during his speech tonight.
He was given the benefit of the doubt in the election by independents, youth, Latinos, African Americans, all tilted a little bit towards Trump in the second election. Now, polls are really looking tough for him. And yet, I think we will not hear any backing down from Trump. If anything, he'll double down.
And that speech can be heard live here tonight on WTIC News Talk 1080 beginning at 9. Husband and wife are dead in Plainfield. Police say 62-year-old John Azell called them Monday to say his wife Christine had been suffering from terminal cancer and that he'd end hers and his lives. The couple found in their Kate Downing Road home. Police say a firearm was found nearby. Cleanup from the big blizzard continues. Southeastern part of Connecticut, it's got the jackpot, it seems. Over 2.5 inches of snow, or 2.5 feet of snow. Wish it was 2.5 inches. New plea and a higher reward. of $1 million from Savannah Guthrie and her family 24 days after the abduction of 84-year-old Nancy. Savannah Guthrie says the family is still holding out hope, but also realizes it may be too late. Teenager found shot early Sunday morning on Ann Street in Hartford has died. Police say Camden Siegel was 17, found unresponsive and taken to an area hospital in the wee hours of Sunday morning. He was pronounced dead this morning. So far, there have been no arrests. In the meantime, a male in his 20s brought to the hospital as police processed that initial scene is in critical but stable condition, recovering from a gunshot wound as well. Wall Street, the Dow up 370 points today. The Nasdaq gained 236 and the S&P was up 52. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Low testosterone can be a real problem for many men. It causes poor sleep patterns, decreased energy, brain fog, low sex drive, and it makes it tough to stay in shape. And as we all know, a healthy body is important to our overall health and well-being. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if some or all of those symptoms sound like you, we can likely help you be done with low T. But more than this, we can also help you lose weight, support your metabolism, improve your gains in the gym, and more with our new targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1, and more. Our low T protocols, applied in conjunction with our body composition plans, will help most men see real improvements, true weight loss, higher energy, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and a renewed sex drive as well. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or visit northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
If you love sports, this is the show for you. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos. Weekday mornings 9 to noon Eastern on the free Odyssey app and YouTube at The Costos. Bringing you the biggest NFL news, guests, and notes from the offseason while getting you ready to win the madness of college hoops. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos. Live and interactive Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. Presented by BetMGM. Download the Odyssey app and listen from anywhere for sports talk from people who love sports.
This year, flavor doesn't walk. It runs wild. At P.F. Chang's, we're charging into the year of the horse with bold new wok-fired dishes like pork belly bao buns and refreshing cocktails like the Midnight Gallop. P.F. Chang's beloved red envelope tradition returns, adding a surprise element to every visit during the Lunar New Year. Each guest receives a red envelope revealing a special offer redeemable on a future visit. Celebrate the Lunar New Year with flavor that runs wild at P.F. Chang's. Valid for dine-in only while supplies last. Details at pfchangs.com.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
Make sure you go to the Odyssey app or go to WTIC.com to check out the program each and every day, unless we tell you otherwise because we couldn't download it. But usually you can find that on WTIC.com, the Odyssey app, or on ReeseOnTheRadio.com. The new ReeseOnTheRadio.com is up. It is simple. It is plain. If you have something you want to share with the show, like a story idea, maybe a place that I can take Roseanne because I'm running out of ideas and I don't know where to go, you can help me so we can talk about it on the air. And I can say, if it's your idea, that I took her, and then, you can get credit and I can look like a hero. But you go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com and fill out. I'm going to be adding more stuff to the page today if we get a chance, and plus some usual stuff. You can also watch the show there live at ReeseOnTheRadio.com. That's ReeseOnTheRadio.com. When we come back, I'll take some phone calls from you as well. Programming note, Cara Pavolak D'Amato, representative, is going to be here tomorrow at 4 o'clock. We'll talk to her about a whole bunch of stuff. I could have done a chicken wing story here, but I'm not going to. Actually, it's chicken necks. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait until later tomorrow to do that story. So State of the Union, by the way, if you want to watch, or you can't watch the State of the Union because you're on the road, just tune in to WTIC and you'll be able to listen to the State of the Union and the president's speech. And of course, we will be talking about it at length tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll have a whole bunch of highlights because I'm going to have to stay up late to get a bunch of clips from that, as well as the People's Republic State of the Union that will be happening outside the Capitol at 8 o'clock. They're going to be there for 3 hours it's actually longer. Yeah, 3 hours. From 8 till 11, they're going to be outside in the cold of all places to be doing the People's Republic State of the Union. Comrade John Lawson will be there. Comrade Jim Himes, Christoph Murphy will also attend. Maybe he'll give speech, talk about the importance of bread lines. His sidekick, also known as Robin, Maxwell Frost, will be there. He's Black Russian. He will be there as well. Of course, everyone's favorite Russian race baiter, Joy Reid, will be there. I wonder what fancy hairdo she will present to us. It should be fantastic. Yes, comrades will travel far and wide to stand outside in cold to deliver the People's Republic State of the Union. Talking about everything from seizing the means of production. Wait, hold on. No Comrade Bernie Sanders? What? What means? Why he not come? He not invited? He's special Socialist Republic comrade. How is he not on list? Don't tell me he'll be inside. Oh, this is a waste. Let's get a check of weather and traffic. It's cold like Comrade outside, cold like Russia outside. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center.
It does feel like Siberia here, doesn't it? It has that Siberian feel. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, westbound side of 84, you got delays from exit 48 out to 46 Sisson Avenue. If you're traveling eastbound 84, no problems. Farmington out into Vernon. Both sides of 91, speed limit Cromwell up into Windsor Locks. 291 through 84, okay. 2 eastbound's okay into Glastonbury. Quiet Middletown. Waterbury looks good. If you are traveling northbound on the Parkway, we have an accident on the Orange Woodbridge line between 42B and 46. So you've got delays back to 42B behind that. Also in the southeastern part of the state, we have a crash 95 southbound on the New London Waterford line between 83 and 82. The right lane is blocked with an overturned motor vehicle there. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by Staples. Want a great way to boost your brand? Custom labels at Staples will help your packages pop, shipments stand out, and takeout boxes really take off. Shop now through April 18th and save 30% on all custom labels. Staples. That was easy.
WTIC weather.
We're starting to see those mid and high level clouds from a storm system across the Great Lakes that will bring a period of snow early tomorrow morning, accumulating 1 to 2 inches. So that'll make for a messy morning commute on top of the snow that we have out there. Plus, the low temperature going down to 9 above will definitely have some patchy ice in certain spots from the melted snow today. So those two factors with the black ice and also with the snow in the morning, just keep that in mind for the commute. So we start out at 9 degrees tomorrow morning. We end up with a high of 40. A rain or snow shower in spots tomorrow night, otherwise partly cloudy down to 25 degrees. Thursday, mostly cloudy, a little snow late in the afternoon, not expecting any accumulation. The high temperature 39, and those flurries will end Thursday night with a low of 16. Friday, more sunshine than clouds, up to 39 degrees. Saturday's high all the way up to 48 with a mix of sun and clouds, and considerable cloudiness, a little bit colder on Sunday, the high 39. Right now, 28 degrees in Farmington, 26 in Bloomfield, and 27 degrees in Hartford. This is meteorologist Chad Merrill in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and at newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Wisdom teeth giving you trouble? Columbia Dental's expert oral surgeons specialize in comfortable and efficient wisdom tooth removal. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
Every sandwich has bread, every burger has a bun, but these warm, golden, smooth steam buns, these are special, reserved for the very best. The Filet-O-Fish, and you can have them too.
It's Filet-O-Fish season.
Get 2 for $6 or 2 10-piece McNuggets for $6 or mix and match. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Single item at regular price.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Brian Shackman here for Allaire Elder Law. I don't know about you, but I was planning for college, I was planning for retirement, but I really forgot about planning for long-term care and what happens when I get older. And that's where Allaire Elder Law comes in. And my wife and I are going down this road right now with Haley Allaire, and I suggest that you do too. She can do it all. Attorneys, wills, trust, probate, Medicaid, you name it. All you have to do to check it out for yourself is allaireelderlaw.com. That's ALLAIRE elderlaw.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we are back here. By the way, Dean, I meant to respond to you earlier. You called. You wrote me a note and asking about the chat room. The regular chat room, that one that we had there is no longer there, but you have to go to either YouTube or you can go to, if you click on YouTube, you just open up that box and then you just go into the chat room. That's the best way to go. Other than that, you could go on X. If you're not savvy with YouTube, you can go to X and also chat room there. If there's another way to do it, I will make sure that I do something about that today if you want to chat directly into the page. We'll work on that today. Like I said, I'm just setting up the new website, I think, yesterday. I went through so many different places, and I was like, look, I'm just going to simplify the darn thing. Also, what was the thing that I wanted to get into real quick before we get out of here? It was something. It was crazy that I had it in front of me, but I didn't. Maybe I moved from the page, but it was sitting in front of me. Why am I forgetting it now? I have no idea why. Sometimes my head it's got a million things going on, and I just completely forgot this story that I was looking at. And it was something going on. Oh, goodness, why am I forgetting it now? And it was either on my phone or it was just somewhere, and I just completely lost it. Anyway, it's over. The moment has passed. Anyway, like I said, tomorrow's show, we got Kara Pavelak D'Amato, the representative, will be on the program tomorrow. We'll talk to her about a slew of other things. Also, I want to thank Marshall Brandon for being on the program. I think we're going to have a beautiful relationship with him. Can't wait to see him live on stage. We're going to do that roughly in May. And I'll tell you guys all about it. It's a series that we're going to do for a little while. It's called the Funny Ha Ha Tour. I wanted to call it something else. I was going to call it the Funny Uh-Oh Tour. Some odd reason that got voted down. So that won't be happening anymore. And let me see. In 2 weeks, 3 weeks' time, I'm going to be baptized. I'm really excited about that. That's going to be an interesting thing. I cannot believe that that's happening to me, and it's I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be an amazing ride when that happens. State of the Union again tonight. If you are going to be driving and you can't be in front of the television, you can listen right here on WTIC. We're going to be airing it, of course, not just on the station, but of course on WTIC.com. You'll catch it in its entirety. So don't think that you'll have to miss it. You'll have an opportunity to watch or listen to the events. Oh, that was the other thing. Please go to my Substack. If you have not, folks, go to my Substack. Just look up Reese on the Radio. My Substack is there. There's a great article, in my view, that you should read. It's fun. It's hilarious in some ways. And it's called I Want to Live Where the White People Are. Don't Lie, You Do Too. It explains Housing Bill 8002 and why it's important that that bill be defeated with a governor who comes in and gets rid of it. It's no reason for it to be there. There's no way we can continue having that bill in place. We've got to save the suburbs, whatever it takes. It must be saved. Also, know in a couple of weeks we'll have details on the debate that's coming up. We not only will have, 1, the venue, 2, the date, also the time and how you can participate. That'll be coming in the next couple of weeks as well. And those details they are forthcoming, and I can't wait to tell you all about them. We're about to get the documents prepared and that we're going to send out to the camps, wait for them to sign them. If they sign them, they sign them. If they don't, they don't. That's just the way it's going to be. And I want to say this just so people understand. I will reach out to you once, and that's just the way I do it. I will reach out to somebody once and say, hey, love to have you on the program. If you send a formal invitation, no. I will not write you an email. I will not be sending you some formal letter in snail mail. If I call you up and I say, hey, I'd like to have you on the show, and you don't hear back, I won't ask again. I've got no interest in having you on. Please do not turn around and then say, when it's convenient, or when you hear, hey, that Reese on the Radio guy's blowing up, we should do his show. Don't bother. Got no interest in you. Once you stop returning my phone calls or you don't return them at all, I don't care. By the way, when you tell me you're going to contact me or reach out to me, and you don't, I'm done with you. I have no interest. I am not starving for you. Okay? I'm not begging. And with all due respect, I don't need you. I don't. Okay? I hate to make it about me, but it is about me. The show is about me. Sorry. It's nice to have guests on. It's nice to talk to them. But that's about me because I'm interested in them and I want to learn about them. And they come on and they talk to me. But if you don't want to talk to me, don't want to talk to you. Okay? So I'm not going to ask anymore. I've already asked. And that goes for everybody. From the mayor of Roonin, no interest. Okay? Governor, no interest. Made my pick, made my plea. Hey, come on to the show. Sure, we'll get in touch. No, you're not. I'm done. Keep it moving. Okay? It gives me all the latitude in the world. I can do whatever I want now. Now I don't have to play any favorites. I don't have to be nice or kind to you. I can tell the truth about you, which I was going to do anyway, but I can just pretty much, I don't have to care. You don't have to call me up and tell me, like, hey, man, why are you being so hard? Well, I can be hard on you right here. If you just sit across from me, I'd be happy to deal with you, but you don't want to deal with me. So, no thank you. So, just keeping it real. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's get to the phone. Scott's in the car. Hello, Scott.
How you doing, Reese?
What up, buddy?
Hey, the story you forgot about was that the chicken neck one?
Okay, yes. Do you know what the story is?
No, I don't. But But when you tell the story, there better be a reference to Adam Schiff in there somewhere.
No, he won't be in the story. It's crazy because it has to do with Honolulu and an actual House bill in Honolulu because they have problems with chickens there. So if you're interested in checking out the story, just look it up. It's actually pretty wild. But I have a different take. Funny. I have a different take on this story, and I'll talk about it tomorrow because I don't. This is one of those things where you don't want to put the power into people's hands on this one. Just in my view. In my view.
Well, the reason why I called was a while back. I know you're a lover of music in general, and you mentioned something about every once in a while there's these like like specifically outstanding performances.
Yes.
And you mentioned Fleetwood Mac, and so I have an extraordinary. I'm one of those people. I love exceptional performances to the point where it's like perfection.
I call them touched.
Way.
I call them touched by God.
Touched by God moments is exactly how I put it. Well, Fleetwood Mac has one of those, and it's a live performance of the song Silver Springs.
Ooh.
So you have to check it out. It's on if you go on YouTube and you look up Silver Springs live performance.
Okay.
It's one that happened where Christy McVie, I'm not Christy McVie, but Stevie Nicks. They're singing back and forth, because there was that whole emotional thing about her being married, and they're singing back and forth to each other about the kind of like the breakup. But when you hear the drama in that song, the emotional hit that goes on in there, it's one of the best musical performances ever, like anything.
Is it live at the Warner Brothers
That's the one.
studio? Okay. I have it. My wife's a huge fan of Stevie Nicks.
Oh my God. Well, this one is a specific performance. It's a live performance, and you'll know it when you hear it because
Is it from 97 though?
I believe so.
Okay, good. I think I have it. I think I have it live.
Yeah, you got to check it out. I mean, it is absolutely off the charts. There's a few of them. I'll share a few others when we have time on, just talk about that in general. But that performance with Fleetwood Mac, as you mentioned before, is off the charts.
Okay, I will definitely listen. In fact, I'll listen on the drive home so I can find it for my wife.
Cool, you got it.
Thank you, sir. Let's go to Dave in Windsor. Hello, Dave.
Hey, good afternoon there, Reese.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, this happened yesterday, but as mentioning music, I don't know if you're familiar with Boss Skaggs, but it was...
I mentioned it was the anniversary not too long ago of the Lowdown album.
Yeah, Silk Degrees.
Yes.
Yeah, 50 years of Silk Degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my opinion, one of the greatest albums of all time.
Really? I would listen. When I was a kid, my mom had that at home because she loved that song, Lowdown. I remember listening to that album, and again, one of those moments, I was too young to understand the brilliance of that album. It just didn't. I knew Lowdown because it was a song played on the radio often. It was sort of an R&B record in my house, but I listened to the rest of it, and I never got to it. Now I have to go back and listen to the whole album again.
Yeah, listen to the whole album. I mean, Lowdown holds up 50 years.
Yeah.
In all the songs on that album. And the musicians that played on that album, the studio musicians, were just outstanding. And Boss Skaggs has also produced so much great music, R&B, blues, all kinds of stuff. He's a great artist.
Very unsung hero in the music in the music realm, so to speak. People always remember him. In fact, when people bring him up, they always bring up that album. They always bring up that particular album in general. They never really talk about his other work.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, a lot of people don't realize he was the lead guitarist in Steve Miller Band.
That's right. That is great. Good point.
Yeah, he's also he's a great guitar player.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Anyway,
No,
great
I appreciate you bringing it back up. There are no – listen, people always say it was like, you talked about it yesterday or last week. I don't care. Bring it back. You can talk about some stuff that we talked about in the past. This may be the first opportunity you get to talk about it, so don't be shy. I appreciate you.
No. Again, it was yesterday was the anniversary.
Yes, absolutely.
But in any case, you probably know my feelings about Trump from past calls.
Yes, sir.
And concerning the Epstein files.
Yes, sir.
Now, the thing that was just came out is the Trump-related files that have been withheld from the Epstein release.
You're talking about the young lady that they had an investigation back in 2014?
Yeah, it's just a whole bunch of stuff. But, bottom line is, when somebody gets mentioned 36,000 times, in my mind,
there are people who there were people in the files.
My common sense.
No, I hear you. But there were people who have been mentioned in that 4 times as much who have not related to anything untoward. There are people who.
Let's just get to the bottom of the whole thing.
No, the files are available for you to read, yet no one has found anything. The files are available. He's mentioned all of those times, but there's nothing that he has been attached to. I mean, not one person has been able to produce the thing other than that unverified. In fact, it has been unsubstantiated several times before this, and there was a huge news story about it in 2014.
Yeah, well, I tell you, I don't trust the Justice Department as far as I could throw them. And
well, you have to be able to trust what you see in your own. I mean, the documents are right in front of you if you're reading the documents, and I know.
Well, they're redacted, and
not all.
They pull back the black and they're redacted with white underneath.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on here. I mean, the world, these rich guys, man, I'll tell you, they
hey, I'm not one. I'm not going to defend.
They're immune from everything.
I am not going to defend any one of them, but I will put it to you this way: when your primary focus is on Trump, and then you say that there's a whole bunch of rich guys involved, but those are the people that you don't put all of your ire towards. Let's put our ire towards the people we have verifiably been able to prove have done serious things that they need to be charged with. If it doesn't end up being Trump, it just doesn't end up being Trump, and we just call it a day.
Yeah, well, that's all well and good, but yes, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way, because when we care about the crimes, we should just care about the crimes and get those people prosecuted. If we don't get Trump, we can't go, shucks, we didn't get him.
Throw the whole thing out there. I just think they're hiding too much.
I hear you. No, it's cool to believe that. Thank you, sir. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio. You have a good night, a pleasant tomorrow. Mark Christopher, he's getting you home. He is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Good night, sir. Listen to this whole album. Actually, it was a good album.
Yeah, very good album.
Good night, sir.
Silk Degrees, a really cool-looking boss sitting on that bench on the beach.
Indeed.
Good stuff. Have a great night, Reese. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now,